Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Chatter After Daily on Wednesday, July 12th. I'm your host, Michael Thomas, and today we've got a lot to talk about. It's a DC and Marvel show. We haven't done these in forever. Like, we talked about Superman Legacy a couple weeks back, but a distinct, concise DC and Marvel episode hasn't happened. There's a lot to talk about. Secret Invasion's going on. Superman's getting more heroes added to the cast. So I think now is a really good time, especially since nothing else is going to be happening after tonight. We'll see how that goes. First off, introduce to the panel. Trayvon, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. You know, this should be fun to talk about. Yeah. James Gunn. Yeah, have fun. Yeah, let's go. Yeah,
let's do it. Joel, how about you, man?
Same. Very excited. A lot to talk about. And as this is the stuff I love to talk about, so I'm excited.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Let's get ready to rumble. Jamie, you ready to fight? How's it going?
I just worked out, so I'm a little weak. You might have to tap me in after a round or two, but we do what we gotta do over here.
Just drop the weighted clothes, take the Senzu bean. You got this. You've gone through enough training to get ready for this fight. Come on, guys. Didge, how about you, man? What's up?
Ready to talk this. I don't think it's going to be as toxic as I was making it seem, but we'll see how Trayvon feeling today.
Oh, yeah. It's not going to be that toxic. I mean, we got a Superman movie going on, getting some extra actors. We've had 4 roles cast since our last show, which was just like a day ago. So let's get into it. What was that?
Yeah, I didn't hear what that's.
I said some confusing tweets and threads.
Oh, that's fair.
I haven't seen those. If you want to talk about them, let me know.
Yeah, let's talk about those.
It's the same
I'm not going to be able to stick around, but I want to chime in and tell you all to keep up the great work. Good night, everyone. Thank you, Isaac, for dropping in the chat. Go to sleep. We will be here tomorrow for you. You can check out the playback.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're watching, we're live on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitch, they're going to be archived on YouTube. So check us out there. Superman Legacy casts more superheroes. We've got characters I didn't expect. I don't think Scoopers hinted at any of these aside of Mr. Terrific. We've got some great actors for these roles. These are not the characters. If I were to put superheroes in a Superman movie, these ain't the characters I would have expected, but I'm not mad. Joel, I'm going to toss it over to you. You can kind of break down who these characters are, and we can get into the actors playing them in a bit.
Okay. I think I agree with Mike. This is a very eclectic group. I'm not sure how they all and any of them fit into this story that he's creating. That's why I'm very curious what the story is, and he's already said that there's a reason they're in there. So it's part of the story. So I'm like, all right, we'll see what he's talking about, because I'm not really sure how they all fit. It's very random characters, it looks like, because none of them are been together in a team before, except for maybe 2 of them. Like Mr. Terrific and Metamorpho, most notably known to be together for the Terrifics. They've all been members of the league in some capacity in the past, like Hawkgirl and Green Lantern Guy Gardner, like Justice International. So there's been a whole bunch of different places they've been, like Mr. Terrific and Hawkgirl also known JSA members. So I'm like, they can go in a lot of different directions, but I have no idea what that direction will be. I think the biggest thing for me was the Guy Gardner reveal, because I was not expecting a Green Lantern in this movie, and especially not Guy Gardner to be the first Green Lantern we're introduced to in the DCU. So I was like, wow, holy moly. Because I remember when it dropped yesterday, when the news dropped, and I saw Nathan Fillion's face, and they said he was cast as Green Lantern. I thought it was a joke, so I kind of like a minute. I really did. I had to actually go in, so Vanity Fair, and then the writer. I'm like, I know all that. I'm like, wow, that's when I posted to you guys. So
yeah. Nathan Fillion's been fan cast as Hal Jordan for 15 years.
Yeah,
You hearing Nathan Fillion Green Lantern and kind of just shrugging it off makes total sense.
right.
The fact that it's real, though, is the shocking part to
It
me.
was unreal.
It's, yeah, dream come true. Not the right Green Lantern, but, we'll take what we can get.
I mean, after all these years, we finally got him as a Green Lantern, just not the one we were expecting.
Right. So,
Another funny tidbit, Nathan Fillion and Ryan Reynolds were also on the show together. So that's funny that they both ended up being Green Lantern.
That is funny.
That's actually hilarious. I feel like Nathan auditioned for Hal Jordan in like 2010 too, which is also
Possibly.
an interesting
Maybe.
connection.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Art Wender in the chat says, big casting news just before an actor strike. A bit of a coincidence, if I do say so myself. Yeah,
Contract signed.
Yeah, I mentioned this I didn't mention this on the show, but I was telling you guys before we went live the other day, do not be surprised if we get a bunch of contracts signed because studios are trying to get them under contract. So when all this is over, they can start filming right away.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So little did we know, like 10 minutes later, this news broke. And it's like, yeah, that's expected. So Guy Gardner, does anybody know anything about this Green Lantern? Because he's a little more on the obscure side compared to like Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart, even Jessica Cruz, I would say at this point.
Nope, weirdly enough.
All I know is he need a new barber.
Let me tell you. That bowl cut is bogus.
Yeah,
I know James Gunn said on Threads that he specifically cast Nathan Fillion because he wanted to get him in a bowl cut.
Crazy.
Messed up.
Crazy. But also, shout out to my man Edie for getting back in the superhero game after they did him so dirty as Darwin.
Yes.
Can we please give him a good round of applause? They'll do him better this time around.
Edie, after like the most unkillable character, dies first in an X-Men movie.
That is gonna be a great wrong righted once he is back.
Well, yeah, now he's like the smartest person in the DC universe. Right?
Yeah, basically. He's one of them at least.
Neat. Okay, so let's talk about Guy, though. Joel, nobody here knows who he is.
Okay.
Tell us about Guy Gardner.
Guy Gardner, if you haven't noticed, is a Green Lantern. A human Green Lantern. I believe he was possibly the second one after Hal. But I remember having a comic book with all three of them, and they're the three most prominent Lanterns. Guy separates himself in the fact that he's kind of a dickhead, a real dickhead, and he has a real big beef with Batman, mainly because everyone kind of worships Batman, and he thinks it's a dude in a suit, and it's what he is compared to a Green Lantern. It's just he has a very big ego, and he had a relationship with Ice from Justice League International. That's what he's prominently known for, Justice League International. And obviously a prominent member of the Green Lantern Corps. He's in the Green Lantern show, like cartoon. If you watch the Green Lantern cartoon, he's I think the second season of that. He was, I think, also in Batman Brave and the Bold, but as a prominent Lantern in there. So, and he had a little bit of some shine in Young Justice, not a lot.
Notably, in Young Justice, Guy and Hal can't stand it.
Did not want him there. Yeah, so we could just don't bring Guy. No, no one can really stand him. He's kind of an asshole. So he's the asshole. He's the redheaded stepchild of the Green Lantern Corps.
I just looked up his first appearance, and the cover of it is him punching out Hal, saying, "There's only one room for one Green Lantern, and it's me."
Yeah,
that tells you enough right there.
He's a pompous dick most of the time.
Like Art Wonder said in the chat, he's a punk. That's all you need to know. Do we think? I'm asking the panel now because you now know a little bit about Guy. How are we feeling about Nathan Fillion in that role? Because I feel like he's a little too charismatic and too charming for what Guy typically is. So I wonder how they approach it.
I like Nathan Fillion as an actor, so I think he can do it. You are right to how charismatic he is. I'm trying to think of, has there been any roles that I didn't like the character? And that is kind of an issue. So I think to your point of it being a kind of a dick character, yeah, that I'm curious where they're going with that route. But I think just him as an actor, he theoretically should be able to do it. Because like I said, he is a really good actor in my opinion.
It's okay. Is he usually an older Green Lantern, like than like Hal, or like in relative to this Superman? I'm trying to like think like
Everyone in the DC universe is in their 30s.
Well, I
you
mean,
know.
They haven't aged in a long time. He's never been.
Yeah.
He's been around the same age as Hal, maybe.
Right.
Maybe younger, maybe, but not by much, if any.
okay.
Hal, and especially during the Silver Age, it was had white hair. He had the whole Mr. Fantastic look for a while there. So Hal always kind of portrayed a little bit older until recently when he got reborn.
Man, DC does not like this guy. He never had a good haircut. Crazy.
He had good haircuts. What was it?
Not in these pictures I see on this Wikipedia.
Well, they're all bowl cuts most of the time. Don't look at the bowl cuts. That's his classic.
That's all there are. Even when they had the updated, you could tell that's supposed to be like the updated 90s punk one. He still had a bowl cut.
Oh, don't do the 90s. Those are bad too.
DC does not like this guy.
He lost the Green Lantern ring and became a character named Warrior for a while. It was like a yellow.
That was a weird run.
I saw that. He had I guess he was a Red Lantern too.
I actually like that when he was a Red Lantern.
It goes into my hope of we're seeing more colors of the spectrum.
Spectrum, yeah. I liked when he was a Red Lantern. That was cool. So was Supergirl at that point.
Yeah, I really like that
really
run.
Cool.
That run was great.
That run was great. The whole thing, that Red Lantern thing was crazy. That was New 52.
Yeah. Jamie, how you feeling about Nathan as GL number 3?
I feel like he can do it. I'm kind of with you, Mike, and you did where you're talking about, Nathan Fillion as like the roles that we've seen him do. They've all kind of been charismatic. I feel like him as a person is just also very charismatic. But I feel like you can kind of play up that charisma almost to be like annoying and kind of like I'm smiling to your face, but I'm holding a knife so I can stab you in the back.
Yeah.
So I feel like you can kind of like approach it in that angle, and maybe, excuse me, maybe it won't be like similar to how he's portrayed in the comics, but it'll still have that kind of like asshole, can't be trusted, like punk kind of vibe to him.
That's fair. All I can see is Hal Jordan, unfortunately. I'm going to have to shake that.
Yeah,
you're not wrong.
It
is. It's seeing his picture superimposed over the comic drawing of it. The hair is just like, I can't see Nathan Fillion having that.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. He can do it. Like he's been in every Guardians of the Galaxy and has looked completely different and like all the makeup and stuff.
He's
like,
even voiced Hal Jordan in the animated movies occasionally.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
So next character here, though, did you kind of mention it earlier? We've got Mr. Terrific, which I think that's the first character James Gunn has ever teased.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the day he took over DC Studios with Peter Safran, he like tweeted an image of Mr. Terrific and then a picture of Lobo. So Mr. Terrific's a character we're a little familiar with from his time in the Arrowverse. Notably, he always had to put them dang braids in his hair when he had to suit up
So annoying.
to go fight with the Arrow crew.
That was his superpower.
Yeah. So, Trayvon, since you have a little bit of familiarity with Mr. Terrific, what are your thoughts on being in this movie?
I mean, I'm happy for him getting his retry as a superhero again. Yeah, I mean, I like Mr. Terrific. I like the most exposure I do have to the character is from Arrow. And I mean, I liked him on the show, but the hair thing was funny. It's very interesting. Okay, all right, AJ. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see how they use the character better, or what other technology he's using, or events and stuff like that. Because CW did it a little bit, but not much. So I want to see what they do with him here, with a big budget. Let's see what happens.
Much bigger budget.
Much bigger, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Arrowverse towards the end there, it was made with like a $2 budget, I swear.
Yeah. They didn't
Shout
do
out to
much
everybody.
justice, in my opinion, on CW. So
Yeah.
You didn't even watch it, AJ. Cut it out.
You didn't watch, like, I don't even think he
out.
got past Arrow season 1. Like, I don't know.
You didn't even see him.
Yeah, he never got that far.
I forgot
Really
to
fine,
account.
right?
I forgot to account for that when I talked about the chaos. I did forget that AJ would be in the comments.
God, I love AJ. If you're around, just grab a mic. You can jump in. It's cool. Mr. Terrific. Yeah, I'm excited to see his role in this film. I don't know, like, because like we're getting conflicting information. Because like James Gunn said, this is young Superman, and now it's 30-year-old Superman. And I'm like, okay, if all these characters exist, should Mr. Terrific's role have just been Steel? You know, like instead of
on the
Mr.
story.
Terrific.
We don't know the role is yet.
Yeah, I know. I'm
52
it just
as well,
if I'm
so-
telling a Superman story and I need like a techie superhero, I think I would have went with Steel. But again, I don't know the context of the story yet, so I can't judge it too much. That does just kind of stick out to me.
Show. It's on the TV show. They can't do it.
Oh yeah, we're still in those.
Oh
days,
yeah. I don't think that's the reason, but
I hope that's
maybe.
not
Maybe you never know.
Maybe.
That
We'll
would
see.
surprise me.
There's only one season left anyway.
That's true.
Oh, that show will definitely be done before this movie comes out.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they only got like 3 characters
That's their
on it
track
anyway
record.
going forward.
And they cut half that cast anyway. So
Oh man. Joel, I think you may need to explain a little bit of who Mr. Terrific
Mr.
is.
Terrific is. I know a lot of people give me that look like Mr. Terrific. First of all, Mr. Terrific is a golden age character, the original, from the original JSA member. Mr. Fair Play right there in his jacket. Even the original had that, but it was in his chest though. He was a white man at the time, because obviously back in the day. Anyway, they updated him. I forget what year. When they were starting to when they redid the JSA and Jeff Johns was doing JSA and all that time period, they reintroduced Michael Holt, Mr. Terrific. He was the next generation, and they made him one of the smartest men in the world. Made very tech heavy. And to differ, the one thing I did notice in the Arrowverse version of the character, his name is Curtis Holt, not Michael Holt. So they made a slight change to the name for some apparent reason, and they made him like a decathlon athlete, even though he couldn't fight. Now, Mr. Terrific can do all of it. Like he can fight. He's smart. He's everything. He's like almost like the ones that like.
Has he always been gay?
No, that's a Curtis Holt thing. From the Arrowverse.
Damn. Okay. All right.
We'll see if that carries. Like that's a nice.
You never know. I mean, they could always change that. But as far as I know, Michael Holt has not been gay. But
Okay.
that maybe that's why they called him Curtis Holt, so they can have more freedom with the character. No one
maybe.
can complain. So I've always thought they'd probably sneak in why they call him Curtis and not Michael. They never did, but fuck it. Now we're gonna get the Michael Holt version of Mr. Terrific. The T-Sphere, he's known for the T-Spheres. He flies with T-Spheres. They scan things. They can shoot things. They can do almost anything. They're crazy pieces of devices. And they hover around him and stuff. It's really cool. Like he needs more exposure. I think he's a character. Like I really want to see that character part of the JSA when they were doing that before the whole downfall of that universe prior. So I'm like, oh, that would have been really cool to see Mr. Terrific with Hawkman and then the Fate and all them.
I was actually going to ask about that.
Go ahead.
With this, obviously, he had, like you were saying, he had his ties with the JSA. Do you think he pulls in any of those characters? I feel like you can't, but like
you can. Obviously, I think the best part about there being superheroes already going into this movie is that you can have a past with heroes now. So you could introduce the Golden Age JSA from the get, and that there was a heroes from the past, and not have to explain it later because they exist. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is different. Like before, like if the Superman starts and he's the first superhero, how do you explain the Golden Age? You can't. You kind of have to say everything starts now. So you're saying that he's not the beginning, and the JSA is the beginning. Like they were the original superheroes, or maybe you can go farther back for other characters. You can do that now because there's an established universe with different characters.
I just figured with him and Hawkgirl,
right? Because they have
Aldous Hodge is still right there. Come on, man.
He is. I don't know if they're going to go there. I think the biggest thing, Aldous Hodges was a great Hawkman, by the way.
Right.
But I don't know. The age difference between him and her might be a little weird.
That is fair. That is fair.
I don't know how old Aldous is, but she's 22. I mean, I'm fine with it, but I know it's a little much.
It's a little much.
And there's a big. I mean,
He's 36.
That's a little much.
I mean, it's not. It's a gap.
That's less than what I thought it was.
It is.
Right,
It
right.
is.
Me
It
too.
is.
But it's still a bit much.
Yeah, and there's a big height differential too. She's like 5'1". He's like 6 something, right?
Is
Something
she
like that.
playing the original Hawk Girl though?
I don't
Did they
know.
say?
They don't say.
They
I'm
didn't
assuming.
confirm.
Because I was
They
gonna
didn't
say if she's
confirm.
not, then you still can.
Right. No, I think she's probably playing because currently in the comics there's two Hawk Girl,
Right.
Hawk Woman. There's Shiera,
Yeah.
who's the one who actually hooks up with Carter, and then you have Kendra, and that's who I think she's playing. The Kendra Saunders version of the character, who's been more active with the Justice League in the comic books recently. With
Okay.
the
So yeah.
Or-
So you theoretically you still could then.
right.
Hear
yeah,
me
you still
out.
could. Go ahead.
What if she's Shiera, and this is
Okay.
her latest reincarnation? That's what she's.
That's also a
That's
possibility.
also fair.
Or by reverse, so she was Shiera and now it's Kendra, or
Yeah.
you could either
For,
way,
for
you know
those
what
who
I mean?
don't know, the Hawks die and then they're reincarnated and
And
they come
reborn,
back.
yeah.
So I think that
I mean,
could
you-
be interesting.
That's not a bad idea. That like she's a reincarnated version of Shiera and now it's Kendra, and maybe it was a Hawkman, but it was during the golden age of the JSA. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
I
he
was
has
They
just
have
he
trying to
weird
advocate
ties
for
with the
Aldous.
JSA.
I was just trying
Right.
to advocate for Aldous Hodge. He's
I
there.
mean, that's still a possibility, but I don't know. We'll have to wait.
Yeah, like what if she died, he didn't, so he aged up and then
Right.
she was
I like it.
reborn. That
I
could
like
be
it.
interesting. AJ hopes it's Kendra.
I
Addressing
think,
some of
I
this
think it
comment.
is Kendra.
Don't add more complication into this, you guys. DCEU is dead.
Hey man.
Just saying, or partially anyway,
I don't know if that's a I mean, that's just DC lore at that point. Is it
Right.
confusing? Sure, but like the movie would address that. Not Superman. Superman should not address this, by the way. This is a character thing for Hawk Girl down the line.
Yeah,
Right.
Like the Hawk Girl. See where they
It's
go with
just-
that character.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I think it's Kendra. I do, but we'll see.
Fair.
Jamie, what are your thoughts on Mr. Terrific?
I'm not too familiar with the character. I've seen little flashes of him from like CW commercials and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, who's that guy? He looks pretty interesting. But outside of that, that's another, character for them to either win me over and be like, not better than Batman. Oh well. But yeah, I'm excited to see some new faces with DC because Trayvon has said this on multiple podcasts, and I think he is right about this. We do get a lot of like Batman, Superman, maybe throw Wonder Woman in there. Having Aquaman was kind of like, that was them really reaching out and like, let's bring them something like they haven't seen in a little while. So I'm glad to see that James Gunn is really digging into the DC archive and pulling out some characters that have not received, in AJ's opinion, maybe like, a fair adaptation, or in other people's opinions, they just need some more love. They need to be more present in this universe where there's all kinds of heroes and they affect the timeline in different ways. So yeah, I'm excited.
Absolutely.
Truth. They gave everybody a Black Adam movie and a Birds of Prey movie, and people were just like, I want Batman. Folks never know what they want. That's what I
That wasn't me.
It's funny because I was listening to a podcast earlier today where somebody was talking about like, yeah, I didn't go see Ant-Man or like the last Doctor Strange or the new Guardians or whatever because I have superhero fatigue. He's like, well, I thought I had superhero fatigue, but then I saw Across the Spider-Verse and thought it was awesome. So obviously it's not superhero fatigue and more like the standard of the movies. He's just like, they're just two different beasts. So
Yeah.
People don't
One of those movies is not like the others, but but it's all right.
I mean,
I
that was his words, not mine.
You said Doctor Strange. What was the other one?
Oh, it was Doctor Strange, the last Guardians film, and Ant-Man.
The Guardians and
Sounds like
Ant-Man
a
I'm
Marvel
fine
too.
with.
MCU. That's what it sounds like. Like I'm done. All right, whatever.
Huh.
That's how I feel.
I'm not done with the MCU, but I'm definitely like, I'm ready for a switch up or something different. For sure.
We'll get to that later.
We will.
We talked a little about Hawk Girl. Trayvon, Jamie, did you have any thoughts? Not just the character, but also the castings. We haven't really
I'm
talked about
happy
the actors.
for
I think they're all
her.
great.
I didn't know she was Dora.
I like the Dora movie, so I'm excited.
Oh
for
my
her.
God! Wait, she
So,
is. That's
I'm happy.
great.
Alien movie, right?
Wow, I actually thought the
It's also
girl
in
was
Madam
pretty
Web.
solid.
That's
Yeah,
right.
she.
is.
I was just looking at that. She's
gonna be in
getting her
Madam Web.
coins,
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
good for her. All
Busy.
right.
Yeah.
and she's in an untitled Alien film,
Yeah,
Oh.
she's in the Alien film too. She's the
Okay.
lead.
Good for her.
right?
Yeah.
Wishing her the best.
Get the money.
She's on fire.
No.
This guy on the left, though, I didn't hear this casting, and I have no idea who this character
You
is.
don't know who he is? You don't watch Barry?
He looks like Jiren from Dragon Ball Super.
Is that?
At least he
Is
didn't
he in,
say
I did
Krillin.
watch Barry.
Yeah,
He's in Barry.
he's in Barry.
He's a big part.
he's in like
of
every
Barry.
episode of Barry.
Right. He's
I've
a
only
huge
seen
part.
like 5 episodes of Barry.
He was in all 5 of those episodes.
Probably,
of
and I
Barry.
don't remember.
He's very hard to forget. Look at those eyebrows.
Yeah,
Well,
you would
yeah.
think I would remember that. It was
Yeah.
it was a while ago though, because I watched the first season. I was like, oh, I gotta watch this, and then just never went back.
I watched his rise from TV to cinema now.
Anthony Kerrigan is a great actor. Put some respect on his name. But
Ah,
Metamorpho
apologies.
Well, now I
is
know
not
it.
well known. So this still, I think, is the image in the background is from Young Justice. So I guess he's appeared there. I haven't seen
Yep,
that.
they
from
put
Metamorpho.
Jiren and Young Justice. He looks just
He
like
didn't have a
him.
big role in that.
Like, I don't even know what character that is now, but now it's just Jiren in my head.
It's Metamorpho.
Metamorpho / Jiren.
Oh, he was
So-
in Gotham. I do remember him from Gotham. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was Zaz.
Yeah, I just
Mr.
realized.
Zaz, yeah.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I do know
There you
this guy.
I remember this guy now.
He went full Kiki Palmer. I don't know who this man is. I saw him down the street. I wouldn't know a thing.
This picture, it makes it look like he had white eyebrows. I didn't realize there were none.
Yeah, it's his
So
thing.
So that's why I'm like, I remember somebody who has white eyebrows. That was what kept throwing me off.
No, that's just the glare from the lights.
Yeah.
Joel, I think you need to tell us who the heck Metamorpho is. Though, 'cause,
Metamorpho. If you've
yeah.
watched almost anything at this, I mean, he was in the Justice League animated series. He was in Young Justice. I believe he was in a couple episodes of Brave and the Bold. He was in Beware the Batman. So if you watch any of those things, you probably recognize Metamorpho, Rex Mason. He is a character who has strong connections to. Oh man, I can't remember the name of that company now. Some rich character, and I can't remember. It's escaping me at the moment. But that's the reason he becomes Metamorpho, because he has beef with that one dude and gets trapped inside this thing that he was supposed to protect. And he was dating like the boss's daughter type of thing. So yes, there's a whole drama there. And he was I think he was an archaeologist at one point. I forget exactly the whole history, but I know Metamorpho has various abilities. Like that's
He
why
was
he
in
helps all.
Justice. He was in Justice League Unlimited. That's the design I remember of Metamorpho, and that's way different from that design.
Yeah, Young Justice went different. Very different.
They went Jiren.
It's the highest res look I could get for him. I'm sorry.
That's
I-
fair.
Mr. Terrific's also in Justice League Unlimited. I think he's like running the
Yes.
Watchtower in like season
He
2,
is.
which is
Yeah.
really cool.
Oh.
So
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
again were a team in the comics known as the Terrifics, and Metamorpho was. The Terrifics in the comics are basically the Fantastic Four. They're just straight up rip off of the Fantastic Four. Mr. Terrific played the Mr. Fantastic role. Metamorpho was the Thing role, and that's how they played that out. And then there's 2 other characters, which we'll see if they show up, because he did also tease the Terrifics at one point, James Gunn. So maybe the Terrifics are a thing in this universe.
if the Authority are a thing, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen. Apparently, the Authority was like more like a swerve in terms of
That's
like in this movie.
That's the cast
But
I'm waiting
we'll
for.
see. We'll see, because we haven't. Who knows at this point? Who's not in this movie?
Hopping back into the comments section right quick. Artwinder says, I am confident Gunn will balance out all these characters and still make the movie Superman focused, but it feels unneeded to have all these characters.
Yeah.
Asking the panel, do we think we need all these extra heroes in this movie?
I'm a geek. Yeah, there's never enough.
It's tough to say without knowing what the story is.
Right.
On
Mhm.
paper, you would want to be like, man, this kind of sucks, because you want it to be more Superman, and just keep hearing names, you assume that it's not going to be. But he could literally just be announcing he's getting this out there, and they have like 1 or 2 scenes.
I always said this
Yeah.
is no origin, so I mean, you know,
True. He also said that.
at least we don't have
That
to
is
deal
also
with that,
true, yeah.
so.
He's just established, and like, cause I was with Jawan earlier, and I'm like, this is not the last time you see these characters. Like,
Right.
you don't have to flesh them out now. You'll see them again in the future in various platforms, not just movies. If they're in the series, they'll be in the series. Yeah, if they're in animation, they'll be voicing them in animation. That's
right.
the point of all this now. So it doesn't have to be specifically for that movie to get everything you need out of them.
I'm glad you say that because Trevon did send some James Gunn quotes in a little bit earlier today. And one of them was, quote, this is from James Gunn, "I've never used one movie to set up another movie. The characters are there because they help tell Superman's story better. Not so we can set up separate projects in the franchise. Superman and Lois are the very clear protagonists." So, yeah, like they may be there for a couple scenes or two. Like, one thing Gunn has always said from the beginning is that this is not an origin story. This is a lived-in DC universe. These characters, like the Terrifics, the JSA, all that stuff could have already happened.
Mhm.
And Clark can be going to them for guidance because he needs help with a problem or he needs advice, or they can just be his friends and they show
Right.
up for a couple scenes and they're out of the way. So
Yeah.
I like that. I do think it's interesting though that it's this group of people,
Right,
not
it's a weird
Batman,
eclectic group.
Wonder Woman, Barry Allen, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good eclectic group.
Superman, he got new friends. You
They'll
know,
they'll be off world. I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's what they'll say.
Maybe they haven't met yet. Who knows? I mean, this is very early on, so who knows? I know he said it was like very early on in his Daily Planet career. I think we also said.
Do these characters fit that? Okay, I guess we'll see. I don't know.
I don't know.
I just
I'm like
don't-
now
It depends on the writer. Like they fit whatever you want them to fit.
now that I'm like thinking about it a little more, I think I do like the fact that they're going to be in this film because like the number one question with almost every superhero movie that's come out in like maybe the past 10 years is like, okay, Iron Man's fighting this like world like destroying threat. Where is everybody else? Like where are all the other heroes? And I don't know if these heroes are necessarily like step in to help Superman and whatever battle he's going to be dealing with. But they'll at least have some kind of presence. And probably some kind of excuse like, oh, I can't help you. I have COVID. Oh, you don't want to catch that. Sorry.
that'd be a wild.
So you know, at least they'll be present in some way, shape, or form. Like they probably would be in the comic book. So I like that.
Yeah, I will never forget Iron Man 3. The president is literally taken hostage, and none of the Avengers even made a phone call. It's like
They
Captain
text-
America, the president was kidnapped.
Yeah.
They texted him,
retired.
"Hey, you got it right. You got this one. Okay, cool.
You got it,
Saved
Tony.
the planet and went on a vacation, extended vacation.
Yeah, but yeah, you know, I think this specific group of characters is interesting. I wonder how they play out. I want to remind everybody that Gunn has done this a lot in his Guardians movies, where the Ravagers and all these other characters show up. Like Sylvester Stallone shows up for like 2 minutes max. And it's just more world building of you need to be reminded of who the Ravagers are. So when they are important and they do come back, you understand the weight of that and the big deal of that, right? With something like the end of Guardians 2 or even Gamora's story with the Ravagers in Guardians 3, it all was just like little seeds that kind of built up over time. So it might be a similar situation in this case.
That makes sense.
Find out.
We won't forget Iron Man 3 despite wishing we did.
Yes, I do.
It's
Wish
fine.
I did. Ugh.
Oof. Brutal. Trayvon, you said that there was some controversial or interesting tweets and threads and things from James Gunn. So I want you to explain what makes them fascinating.
For me, it's the one about you say it's the one where he's like basically confirming that Zolo will still be in here in DCU. We already knew that, but then he's also saying, and so I read the thing. He says, yes, Blue Beetle played by the wonderful Zolo Marijuana, I guess you say, and a handful of other characters will continue on in the DCU, even though the first DC it's confused. Even though the first DC Studios movie is Superman Legacy, the first DC Studios project is an animated TV show, Creature Commandos. It's just the fact that he's saying that a handful of other characters will continue on in the DCU, and to me, that just says in the movies that I did, they'll stay. Everything else, sure, it doesn't matter if it connects to other stuff or not. I'm gonna still pull them in. It just makes it confusing to me. And I was like, well, do what you're gonna do because you run it, but it's like, okay, sir, like, I don't know.
I will
just don't
say,
like it.
it's not everything he does because he didn't do anything with Blue Beetle.
Right.
So
Well,
there's
you
that.
know what I mean. I'm saying before the Blue Beetle.
Oh yeah, like the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Peacemaker. Like,
But
those are the
he
two
chose to
things.
bring them back too. He didn't choose them originally. Some of them.
Which one are you talking about?
I get what you mean.
Harley and
What'd you say?
original Rick Flag, Harley Quinn.
Oh, like
Captain
bringing in
Marvel,
the
like,
Suicide
that's-
Squad from the first.
Like, yeah, he
movie.
brought that original cast back, even though it was technically kind of like a soft reboot. So he's kind of doing the same thing again. Did it once in the universe, and now he's doing it in another universe.
Sure.
I feel like he's being really careful with his words, and that's what's making it sound more confusing than it is. What really is happening is he likes Zolo in the role of Blue Beetle, and he will play Blue Beetle in the DCU going forward.
Right.
That movie is probably out of continuity. It doesn't take place in his universe, but
Right.
he wants Zolo to be Blue Beetle
Blue Beetle,
going
right.
forward. But he can't say this movie isn't in the universe and it doesn't matter, because then guess what? People will immediately tune
That's
out
why
and not
he
want to watch
hasn't
it.
completely rolled out Aquaman yet, for the same reason.
Right.
I mean, in a way though, he kind of did just say that. Like,
He did it, but he didn't. That's
Right.
That's why it sounds so.
That's what I mean by like he's being careful. He's trying,
Right.
and it's getting
It's-
really weird. I understand though.
It's awkward.
confusing.
It's really awkward. That's what it is.
Yeah, but and also with the comment of Superman Legacy and Creature Commandos, those are the first projects being released under the DC Studios umbrella, because that wasn't a thing until after he got hired. DC was just a small segment of Warner Brothers, so now those are official DC Studios projects. So we all get that, and we understand that. He just has to be really careful when trying to talk about Zolo's place in the universe. I want to point out something though. To your point, Trayvon, he has not said that about other characters. He has not said, "Oh yeah, Gal Gadot will be Wonder Woman," or
Right.
"Margot Robbie will be Harley Quinn."
That was
And
the only one he said would be back.
Yes. This is the only one he said will be back, and so that's very
That's
strange. To your
I mean,
point,
that's one of the ones he said, but it's for me the implied is Peacemaker. Anything Peacemaker,
Yeah.
anything the
His
Suicide
show.
Squad will
Yeah,
stay,
his show will be back.
which is not, to me, isn't right. But whatever. Like, you nitpicking.
That's
Like,
the best.
just
attitude
reboot
to
the
have.
whole thing. Like, just go ahead.
Whatever is the best attitude to have. Just do what you gotta do. Some actors coming back. Viola Davis is coming back. I'm not gonna recast her. I don't blame her.
I mean,
She was casted way back.
she was.
So.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I was just let him do whatever he's gonna do, I guess. But I just think it's really a little shitty to me.
I just think there's such
Whatever.
minor fucking characters that it doesn't matter. I think the major characters really matter for me. We're not doing I don't know when the next time we'll see a Suicide Squad movie. You know what I mean?
well, he said that it's not on the slate. And he has
Right.
no
That's
plans
what I
on
mean. I
making
don't know when
another.
we'll see Suicide Squad again, or we'll see the characters from the show again. But how important are they?
Well,
to
aren't
the
they?
universe?
They already said they're doing another season of that, aren't they?
Of what?
Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peacemaker
Now I
season.
feel like, and this is just my read on it. I don't know, but Peacemaker might only be continuing because they already greenlit it. And he already
Right.
started
Exactly.
like
It's possible
figuring
too,
that
yeah.
out. Like he may have scrapped that too if they weren't already working on it before they decided to reboot and he got this job.
Mm.
But
Okay.
who's to say? That could just be.
I've thought about that too, but
complete
it
guess.
seems to me like Creature Commandos connects to that too. You know what I mean? Like it's I don't know.
Right.
It's weird.
And he was already working on that
Right.
before
So
he
it's
got
like,
this job too. So I don't know. He did confirm Creatures Commandos is going to be set in present day, even because
Right.
the
Even though
original
it's-
run was like in World War II or something.
Yeah. It's interesting. I'm curious how this all.
Ditch, do you have
That's
any
what I think
thoughts?
it's really- Sorry.
not really. I mean, I think I like the idea of just like whatever. I don't want to get too attached because it is interesting. On some level, I think Trayvon is right. It is weird that those are the ones that he's picking.
It's not
But-
weird. It's just
It's
obvious.
that's why I said on some level, like it is weird, but it's also like, if I was someone who was doing this, I would do the exact same thing. I created those movies for a reason, and if I have a chance to basically build out a whole universe, I'm going to use the characters from the movie I created because I think I'm going to think my movie was a good start for that. So I get it on that level. Look, if we're doing this though, bring back Aldous Hodge. You know that.
There's a lot of characters I would love to see back.
There are, but you know that you already announced Hawk Girl. Let's complete the set. I'm just now.
I get it. Like, well, I wouldn't mind seeing this girl come back as Supergirl. Like, there's a lot of
Sasha Calle. I'm holding out hopes that's already a done deal. So that's why I didn't bring that up because I really do hope that Sasha Calle, as she comes back. That's the main thing I took out of it was the fact that he did say generally, or like, you know, there are some characters. So I think it gives the idea of it gives you hope for certain ones. And yes, I can understand hope is a dangerous thing, but at this point that's what you kind of have to have with the DCU because we don't know anything. So you just have to have hope.
I guess for me, I just okay.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying for me, the only thing I think is all the characters that I will want to come back aren't. So it's like, why those get to come back? That's just how I look at it. I'm like,
characters are
what about my
back.
damn characters?
Actor. That's the difference. It's the difference. Your characters are coming.
I definitely understand that frustration. As being on the flip side of watching all of these movies, I'm not gonna say butcher, but I didn't enjoy those interpretations of those characters. And so finally getting a fresh start is exciting, but I can see the flip side of you enjoying those interpretations of those characters. Yeah. And then Justice League happens. And then 4 years later, the Snyder Cut happens. And then it all gets wiped away again. Like I totally get that frustration and like why you would be annoyed. That's why I think your feelings and opinions on the matter are very valid, because I get how irritating it would be to see Peacemaker come back, to see John Cena come back, and then Wonder Woman can't come back. And by and large, people like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. It's not like, at least with Ben Affleck, he doesn't want to come back. At least with Henry Cavill, you know, those movies weren't well received. People loved Wonder Woman. And the second one was
I was going to say 1984 could have.
I don't know if that was enough to kill it, though.
No,
you know?
I do wish there would have been a Wonder Woman 3, but you know.
I mean, we saw her fly off the ground and stuff, so I kind of like that. You know, after I saw that, I was like, yeah, bring it back. After 1984, I was like, nah. But now I was like, yeah, bring it back. Yeah, bring it back. She got her powers now. Bring it back. But yeah.
Especially in a world where it's lived in. If Gal Gadot is slightly older than Superman in this universe, that's fine. She's been around forever. Like, you know, I don't think Wonder Woman has to be somebody in their early 20s, late 20s, early 30s, you know? So Gal Gadot, in my opinion, can come back as Wonder Woman. I think that's why he hasn't necessarily said it yet. He's probably trying to get the inner workings of some of that stuff worked out. We'll see. But yeah, I totally buy the frustration you would have in this situation, because it's weird. Because if you're gonna reboot, why don't you just reboot? I totally agree with that statement.
Yeah,
I agree. By the way, as well, I just don't care as everyone. Like, I just want to see.
I guess that's the difference.
I've been holding on to this for almost how many years now since BVS? I want progress, and I feel like we've been going backwards for years. We're finally going forward. I'm not gonna let this little thing bother me. If he wants to keep them, let him fucking keep them. They're not that important to me. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, whatever it takes to get more DC movies, you know. That's how I feel.
In that status, all would be forgiven, to be honest. To be honest.
Right. Oh, if he says Static tomorrow, or he would have to say Static in like 3 hours, but you know, if he says it in 3 hours,
all forgiven. I admit, I am that hypocritical.
For what it's worth, he said Static is coming. He just didn't say when Static was coming.
Right. Give me the announcement. Give me the actual, give me the article you keep posting. Like, come on. Let's see. Let's see him.
It was really weird that this casting was broken by Vanity Fair, by the way.
That's another reason why I thought it was a lie, Mike. I was like, who? Because I didn't recognize it at first. I'm like, who is this source? Yeah. And then I clicked on it, it said Vanity Fair. I'm like, really? They never get the exclusive. They rarely get it. And I know that the writer, I believe he was on another site at one point, but I know Anthony, I forget his last name. I know him from.
Yeah.
I could trust him. So I'm like, wow, this shit's legit.
He had quotes from Peter Safran in that article. Like they talked to
he's
them
good.
and gave them quotes.
He gets a
I'm just
lot
like,
of Star
oh,
Wars
wow.
stuff. He gets a lot of Star Wars news. That guy.
Nice.
So I was surprised he got DC shit. And then
I wanna
today, THR
address-
got a little with Metamorpho. This
Yeah, they had to hold one close to the chest, right?
right.
We've got one more comment. This is from Instagram from James Gunn, and somebody left a comment. Gotta love the internet and their bluntness. They said, "I thought this was a movie about Superman when all these characters were revealed." Gunn replied saying, "Superman is a man of two worlds: Clark with Lois, Jimmy, and Perry, and Superman with his meta-human compatriots. How could I tell a full story about Clark/Superman without including all areas of his life?" I think that's interesting again because these are the characters that we're using to represent this
His
side of.
metahuman compatriots.
Very cute, very
Right.
great comment reply.
I think that's interesting, and this is something that I would say about Captain America movies because people would always say Civil War is an Avengers movie, and I would always reply with Captain America's supporting cast are the Avengers at that point in his life. He doesn't have Peggy. He didn't really have Bucky. Like Sam and Natasha were in the Winter Soldier, but they after that are both Avengers. So having the Avengers be his supporting cast in Civil War made sense. That's why I always consider that a actual Captain America movie and not just an Avengers spinoff. Because Steve, at the core of that story, is still the main character, even though the supporting characters of that movie are also Avengers. I think that kind of applies here. Maybe not to the extent of Civil War, because like Iron Man was a very important part of that story.
There's definitely a lot. There's a lot of Iron Man in that too.
A lot of Iron Man, but I think at its core, it's still very much Steve's story.
Right.
I think this would be a similar play though, where it's like they're there, but it's still very much on Clark and Lois.
They're not the focus. Is what I get it. That's why I don't even think they'll have as much play as the Avengers did in Civil War.
Oh yeah, no.
That's fair.
We've got another topic. This isn't necessarily a news topic. This is just more of a discussion that I thought would be fun for us to have here. We've got two slates of movies, Marvel and DC.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait.
Now-
I did want to ask a quick question.
Yes.
Before we jump into that, because I know that's going to take up the rest of the episode. I posted it in the group chat earlier, but what do you guys think about the fact that Aquaman did reshoots as of end of June? It was buried in a article about Insidious at that.
I think it's over.
They took out stuff. Took out some stuff.
They had to, but this movie's supposed to come out in December.
Yeah.
It's
That's why we
gonna be
haven't seen
bad.
the trailer
Bitch.
yet.
It's gonna be bad.
Yeah, I was reading the article, and it's like probably 3/4 of the way down. He was like, basically, Patrick Wilson. They asked him some question about it, and he was like, "Oh, Orm is great. I was with him last week." And then they were like, "Wait, what do you mean?" They said he was just coy about it, and it's like, so clearly there were reshoots. Like,
I mean,
Clearly,
yeah. I mean, I don't know. This movie is very weird because, like I said, there's a lot of details that came out in the trial thing, and then, I think Jason Bourne was like doing some interview, and he talked about it was about like the environment or something. I was like,
I remember that.
Sir,
Yeah.
please stop talking. Like, that's not helping. That's not making it any more appealing, please. And I was like, then I think they tried to like ask him like a shady question on the carpet, and he ignored it, and it was like it's a like me and a buddy movie with Orm or whatever. I was like, okay, that sounds cool. I don't know. I just don't know what this movie is. I don't understand why it's coming out after Blue Beetle. I just really hate that it comes out after Blue Beetle. I just really think that's
I don't
weird.
disagree.
That's fair.
I don't want Blue Beetle to be delayed, but I honestly would understand a date swap. But I know that's not. I
I would have
know
preferred it, but yes,
we just got a trailer for Blue Beetle, and it looks fun. You know?
it does.
does.
I'm just saying it's just weird for that. To
Yeah.
be,
No,
Well,
but I'm
it
just saying, like
clearly sounds
confirming
like
your
Aquaman's not
idea.
done.
I don't think they'd swap it because they just put out a trailer with the
Yeah,
same date.
I'm talking about before that. Like
Aquaman wasn't
I'm talking
ready.
about
It's
months
still
ago.
not ready. That's
Right.
why it's not.
Right.
Unfortunately, it's so sad because I really like that first one.
They
I
took-
did too.
They
And
took
it's
more.
just
They took Ezra out. That's what they did. That's what they did. I'm
Oh,
telling you.
maybe.
We know
Yeah.
that whatever scene
That's what
Batman
it
had is gone because we know there was at least this Batman scene.
Well,
right.
Yeah, so we have to talk about the original cut of Aquaman. Like, it's crazy we have to talk about multiple cuts of Aquaman before it's even out. The original version of Aquaman had Michael Keaton in it because
Right.
multiverse changes. Michael Keaton's in the movie. They do reshoots to put Ben Affleck in it because we changed the timeline back. But then James Gunn changed it again to where in that universe, Clooney is Batman. So they may
Oh, you
have
think
put Clooney in those scenes, or they
Oh,
just
that
cut
would be
Batman out entirely.
crazy.
That would be
If it's just Clooney.
Yeah,
they,
so-
they were more consistent. To stay consistent, it's Clooney.
That would be crazy.
That would be
I
fun.
think it's more likely they just cut Bruce's whatever Bruce's
I'm pretty
role
sure
was,
they
they
just
cut it
cut
out
it.
entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
at
yeah,
this
I'm
point.
pretty sure they just got. But that would be funny. Yeah.
They're moving an hour and a half now.
Just 30 minutes of Batman? That'd be
30
No,
minutes of
but-
Bruce.
To
I
answer
don't
the
know.
original question, Didge, this movie's gonna be bad. I'm scared. I don't have any faith in this being any good.
I'm sure it'll look pretty. It'll be pretty. You know.
I'll be
yeah,
there
it'll-
because I like James Wan.
right.
I like Jason Momoa.
I like Jason Momoa. I like everybody in that movie mostly.
I'm more so
So-
upset about the canceled Black Manta project, but
Mm.
Yeah,
We never
the
even
fact
got-
that
we never
they
even
kept
got-
that a secret for so
Yeah, it
long.
was the
Yeah,
I
in
knew
this
it was
movie-
something about that.
yeah, he should be. That would be really weird if
Okay.
he isn't.
I would hope
I mean,
so.
he's doing stuff at Marvel now, so I don't know.
That's
Yeah,
true.
but that's his. He's also done at DC for now. So
Yeah, I don't think even if they do bring back Jason Momoa as Aquaman, I don't know if they're bringing him back as Black Manta.
right.
Yeah. Jamie, what are your thoughts on Aquaman reshoots?
I was pretty surprised, like you guys. 'Cause I'm like, isn't this movie supposed to be like done? Like, why were they reshooting? So I don't know. The idea that it's gonna be a bad film didn't cross my mind, but I was definitely like, what is going on? I
It's
hope
gonna
it's
bomb
good.
for sure.
Look at Jamie being the hopeful one.
Contemplating, do you think it'll be
That's 'cause
just a max drop? Think they'll do it? Think they'll just
No,
shift
no.
it?
I think the
Okay.
budget's like the same as the Flash.
No, but here's the thing: with each set of reshoots, the budget
Budget
goes
goes
up.
up. too, so it's-
Sure.
You're not reshooting to say I'm putting this on Max.
Right.
Will they make more money by tax cutting it like they did Batgirl? I'm serious. Like
It can't.
honestly,
See,
I don't- I-
To answer
Ah.
that question honestly,
think so.
no, because they kept reshooting, and so it's not eligible anymore. If they didn't do
Right.
reshoots, they probably could have got away with it. But by
Oh,
filming
sad.
it, they've now worked on the movie.
It was too far in. Like they weren't even in post yet when they were doing Batgirl. Not really. They were just beginning that.
Crazy.
But actually,
thing
the Aquaman 1 was like my favorite DC EU movie. Like, I thought it was the most fun, although, like, the story was like, I won't say all over the place, but like, it seemed like every time they just
It was.
started to sit down to talk, like, fighting would break out just randomly.
Yeah,
So,
they had no chemistry.
Yeah.
This is also
But I really enjoyed it. And so I'm hoping, like, Aquaman 2 would also have, like, some similar qualities, at least with, like, me at least having fun in the theater.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I'm just gonna try not to think about it. That's all I can do.
feel bad for Jason.
I do too.
He-
But
I mean, he seems like he's
Sadly.
living his life right
Yeah.
now. He's living his
Right.
best life.
I mean, he always gonna live his life. Look at him. But anyway, but yeah, but I'm just saying. I'm just excited to see the movie whenever it come out. I'll watch it, of course. But it's like after Blue Beetle is interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna
Joel,
be
you
good.
mentioned Justice League International when we were like describing some of these characters.
Yeah.
Do we think they'll do like this lineup of Justice Leaguers is crazy enough that I think this is what Gunn might actually be doing?
Crazy.
Wow, Lobo was in that for a small bit. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if it's a version of the Justice League he'd like to approach, even if he doesn't call it Justice League. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it was a bit. Now all these characters are not main members of that group, but the bulk of it like is the bottom half here. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
around here.
Yeah, like this, like from like
Look, even his haircut is bad there.
But
Tragic.
I feel like it's more acceptable. It's more acceptable.
That's more or less what it looks
It
like.
has
Like,
sides.
Yeah.
I think
Shade
that's
the
just
side.
perspective. I don't think it
Yeah.
has sides.
No, he does. I read this run. He does have like a taper on the
Oh,
side.
okay.
Yes, it's a taper. It's a taper.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
you could
it's
like
still a
put
bowl
gel
cut.
in it or something and change it up. There's potential.
Who is the
I've
one in
seen
the middle with
good
the
haircuts.
helmet? What's her name? Yeah, right.
Big
Big
there.
Barda.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
wouldn't be
Mr.
surprised if we
Miracle.
get Barda.
Big
and Mr.
look
Miracle.
Barda.
But I want to see them in the New Gods first or something like that.
Yeah.
But
I need Wonder Woman though. I need a fight. I need
I don't want her in Just League International though.
a real fight.
Wonder Woman. I mean, we're getting that Amazon's TV series, so she's bound to show up eventually, right?
True.
That's the thing.
Yeah, we're gonna get that. He got caught saying that he wanted an animated series too. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Wonder Woman animated as well.
He's making a Wonder Woman animated series, and then the Amazons are gonna have a show on Max, and he said it's gonna be Game of Thrones,
Live action, right?
Yeah, no, that's right.
which is like everybody forgets that he said that because there's been no casting or anything for it. But Themyscira is a very peaceful place. How in the world is it Game of Thrones? What is going on?
It's
Well,
just
it wasn't always peaceful.
I guess. Yeah, but I just wanted to pull this up because I feel like this lineup is getting more and more likely, and it's just wacky enough that Gunn might do it.
Especially
That's
that
the
one
thing
on
that scares me
the
about
whatever that
James
one on
Gunn.
the side. The animal.
Oh, we already know that this is going to be Sean, right?
Yeah.
Who's
one
the
of the
green,
Green
who's the
Lanterns.
green hair girl?
That's fire. That's fire and
Fire.
ice.
And Ice, right?
What was the Harry Osborn looking dude?
That
Or
one.
not Harry Osborn. What's his name?
Norman.
Norman.
Yeah, he looks
Oh,
like
the
Stormy
guy that
Norman.
looks like he got the waves. Norman Osborn. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
That's his name. Damn it, I forgot his name. He was a villain in 1984. Wonder Woman 1984. What's his name?
Maxwell Lord.
the Pedro
Max
Pascal
Lord.
guy.
That's Max Lord,
Oh, wow.
He was a part of that.
You know what? That's what we bringing back. Bring Pedro Pascal back. Let's do
He's
it.
in everything else, so you might as well.
Maxwell. He could be better than Maxwell
He was
Lord.
that was a terrible villain.
Yeah, dude, bring him back.
I like
but
him.
Not as that. Not as that.
That villain, no.
You could bring back Pedro, but not as Maxwell Lord.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if he plays it better this time?
Go away.
Although I do have to
Right.
say, like, I do quote him a lot where I'm like, this is great, but it could be better. Oh,
Just like that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, actually, I wouldn't even put it at great, though. Wouldn't even
that's
put
also fair.
it
It was cool.
But it-
No, I'm.
We got to talk about the main topic of the show, unless you guys want to save it, because we're already an hour deep. But let's get into it. We are halfway, quote unquote, through the multiverse saga. Secret Invasion's also halfway done, right? Like we just got through
Yep.
episode what? 3,
4.
4.
Or,
Yeah, it's almost
or-
over.
Yeah, we're 2 more episodes.
Yeah, so we
Thank
are
God.
we
No,
are
I'm
deep.
liking it.
Yeah,
I'm liking it a lot.
Very sad now. 2 episodes.
Mm.
I love that Trayvon's review earlier was medium good, and I'm like, what does that mean? Is medium
I
good
was
bad?
curious about that. Medium good.
I mean, he could be teetered very easily, and there it goes. Teetered right back into bed.
Right.
It's not cute. They got some medium good. Like, let me have that. Let me just.
Cute is bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever
You hear
noticed
how-
that from me?
You hear how he say it?
That's bad.
Yeah, he's
Listen
always
to
like,
how
oh, that's cute.
Listen to how he says
Very
that's cute,
condescending.
and you'll see.
So, this is the Infinity Saga so far.
I'm glad you brought this up.
Yeah, I had to bring it up because nobody's gonna
Oh,
remember
wow.
this.
I got it.
Joel
up
might
here.
he might have it on hand, but
I do. I do. Like I'm looking at it as we speak. It's right here.
yeah.
I have all
So
the new dates. Those are
Yeah,
old
so
dates.
things got mixed up.
Yeah.
things got mixed up, but the point still stands. These are the things that were supposed to come out, y'all.
Yeah.
I got you.
Things got rearranged. This is from
All
Comic
get
Con,
pushed to
I think.
2024. Whatever's in 2023 is getting pushed to 2024.
There's
Oh,
3
yeah.
movies in 2024 now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And according to this, the Marvels will be coming out in 2 weeks. Tragic. But we're
Mm.
gonna ignore that.
Rub it right in.
Good. I would have been in Austin. I would not have been able to watch it. I'm glad now.
Oh, I could have made a trip, maybe.
Just
Well,
go
nothing-
watch it in Austin. Why would
nothing-
we
no,
no, for you?
No,
Nothing
man,
would've stopped me.
that weekend is packed. I can't.
Yeah.
Brutal. So I brought this up because I wanted us to talk about our general feelings of the multiverse saga, the next true phase of the Marvel universe. But I also want us to talk about, now that we're getting casting and news on what the DC universe is going to look like in the future, this is the DC slate.
Mm-hmm.
And
No
it's
dates.
broken down into multiple tiers because, as Trayvon has pointed out, it's confusing as hell. This is the universe. This is the reset. This is Blue Beetle and Aquaman. This is chapter 1. These are kind of connected to the old universe. This is the Elseworld stuff down here. It's a lot.
Oh,
General thoughts and feelings.
Confused.
Blue Beetle looks like it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, Aquaman is kind of like it's there, but it's not. And and we won't get the first thing from this till what, 2025?
Yep.
First movie.
So
Superman will be out next year.
Yeah.
So
And Joker, if you count Elseworld.
Correct.
And what's Batman like 2025 too, right?
2025.
The Batman.
The
2?
Batman. Yeah.
The 2?
Yes, the Batman and Superman Legacy will be out.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can't until this gets up and running. I can't compare it yet. So it's hard for me to like. Right now, I'm in Marvel's camp. Right now, we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're not comparing what we think will be better. It's just, what are you more hyped for? Marvel has a slight leg up because we've been watching them for like 15 years almost at this point. But not even that. We're already in the multiverse saga, so we already have an idea of what to expect. So they do have an upper hand there. But still, like, general thoughts and feelings on the future of these franchises going forward, because it's the first time DC's actually had a proper slate in like 6 years, because they had one, then they threw it away. We've just been going piece by piece, trying to figure out what was happening. So we can finally kind of compare the two and see the direction that they're both are going.
I have cosmic energy beings and witches in Marvel right now. So until DC gives me something close to that,
The Lanterns is right there.
Right here.
2027, I think not.
It doesn't say 2027. It doesn't have a
what
date
it's
at
gonna
all.
be. That's what it's gonna
We're
be.
really gonna get one in Superman.
Yeah,
Legacy.
I don't. There's so many.
This is also true.
And they included stuff that happened in like Joker 2019 is on there. Like, why do we even put that on? Like, what?
Because Joker 2 is coming out.
It's
And it's
Joker 2,
all in
yeah.
the Elseworld
Just-
stuff. That's why
just-
I'm
Batman.
saying,
Joker
They
2
could
at that point.
they could have kept.
They
Joker
could have.
2. They could have just not did Joker 2. I mean,
You don't want to see the
Thank you.
The
musical?
musical, yeah.
that's where it lost me. I was okay, and then they said I was okay when they said Lady Gaga, and I was kind of like, damn, it might be a musical. Then they said like, oh, it's gonna be a musical, and I was like, oh, I should have known. They
See,
lost
I
me.
like musicals. I'm still like,
I like
I
musicals
don't,
as
I
well,
don't like
but I don't know
musicals.
about
I'll
this.
watch it, but I don't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it begrudgingly. It's like,
I am too, but it's like you could have kept it.
hopefully it comes to Max.
I
It
will.
will.
It's after.
It will
Yeah.
eventually. I didn't like the first Joker, but I do like musicals, and I love Lady Gaga, so I'm here.
I
for
like the
both.
first Joker because of the
I
chaos
like
of it.
Interesting.
Oh, it's
The
all
first
okay.
Joker
Yeah.
also was just okay to me.
See, it's not something I went back to watch, but when I did watch it,
Yeah.
this is shoot them. Yeah. So that was me. In the
I really
theater.
enjoyed it.
I love how consistent you are. That's your reaction to everything you watch. Just like,
I don't know
yeah,
if superheroes
use
is
your
a
power.
thing. Like,
I guess I'll start this one. Marvel's in that weird. They're both in that weird. Like, Marvel's not rebooting, but this is very much a post-Avengers world, right? And we're trying to
It
figure
is.
out where they're going with these new groups of characters.
mhm.
We had Miss Marvel, we had Moon Knight, we had She-Hulk, right? We've got Daredevil, who in the MCU is technically a new character, even though we're familiar with Charlie Cox in the role. We've got Blade, we've got Agatha getting a show, we've got a new Captain America, we've got Echo. So there's a lot of new characters. So I think this is an interesting conversation. I don't know, and that could just be DC having some of the most popular characters of all time coming up on their roster. I think I'm going to have to lean on the DC side of things because I haven't really enjoyed a lot of what Marvel has produced post Endgame as much as I did pre Endgame. Like, I don't think any of it has been bad or awful, aside from Ant-Man. But I feel like going forward, until I see who's playing the Fantastic Four and we learn more about Kang Dynasty, I'm more excited to see a Superman movie, a Lantern show. I love Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow.
I thought I remembered it as a movie. That disappoints me.
Wait, which one?
That Lanterns is a series?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's supposed
Yes,
to be
them being space cops or something.
Oh, that's right. I remember this even more now. Oh, that changes my answer. All
It's
right.
supposed to be True Detective, like with lanterns.
Yeah. True Detective's awesome.
Yeah,
That changes my answer.
Okay, Didge, what's your answer?
So
you just got to go full into it now.
Yeah. So the way I was looking at it, I was looking at what are the top 3 things from each slide that I was most anticipating. It was Superman Legacy, Lanterns, and Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Lanterns gets the boot, and Batman the Brave and the Bold brings it. So those are the top 3 that I'm most interested from DC. From Marvel's side, it's definitely Kang Dynasty. I'm super interested in Loki season 2 and Captain America: New World Order. What I'm more interested in of those trios is the Marvel side. And honestly, it's just because we already had history with it. I kind of know what to expect. Whereas the DC stuff, it's so much of what I know from those stories. And it's like, well, I hope they do these stories right. But if they do these stories right, it's going to be amazing. So it really just comes down to that. I'm not going to lie.
With what's a little more familiar.
Not going to lie. Lanterns did push me over to the DC side at first because it was just called Lanterns. And I was holding out. The idea of getting the entire spectrum was huge for me. But knowing it's going to be a series that's going to be like a buddy cop thing, it's out. I'm still going to watch. It probably will still be really good, but I lost a lot of excitement there.
I mean, it depends how they approach it, because if it's a show and it's a good show, you're going to get 10 episodes of Lanterns, and you can explore all that stuff a bit more as opposed to a 2-hour movie.
But
so I feel like well, it's not necessarily buddy cop, it's True Detective. I said that. That's my fault.
Yeah. Okay.
He just said True Detective, and it's starring Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart.
Right.
So you might get what you. I think you're more likely to get what you actually wanted from Lanterns in the show than you would have in the 2-hour movie where they just fight Sinestro or something.
True Detective. It's now that you had spoke on what they had talked about, I'm remembering more and more of that press release about it. And what I remember of it is just it sounded very terrestrial, and that was the thing that killed me. It's like you're a Lantern show. You shouldn't be terrestrial. Why are you so terrestrial?
And the story calls for it.
They won't be flying around. They're not flying past.
I tell you what, it's all dependent on what Guy does in Legacy.
That is true. That is very true.
We'll see how Guy looks and feels.
Like how a guy looks, how he moves, how he fights. That'll work on what's going to happen in that Lantern.
Good start, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the idea of you going with what's familiar because you are already invested in the Marvel brand, I think is valid. I think that's why, for me though, the DC one excites me a little bit more, is because it is the unknown. I want to see how this turns out. Avengers is going to come out. I'm going to love it. It's going to be great. Or it's going to come out. It's going to be superhero fatigue and everybody's going to complain. Like we know what happens when Marvel stuff comes out. When it's good, when it's bad, we're used to it. We've been doing this for over a decade.
That's
DC,
fair.
For me, it's more exciting because what if it's great? It's going to be amazing. What if it's bad? And we'll just laugh at it, meme at it, and we'll want to reboot again in 2 years like we always do, you know? So I think the idea of getting new stories and interpretations of these characters, getting Robin for the first time since 1997 in a movie is exciting for me. And also I can admit my bias of I grew up a DC guy. I love DC characters way more than Marvel. So for me, just saying Booster Gold gets me excited. Whereas somebody else is probably like, who the heck is Booster Gold? Why should I care about this? It's like, oh wow, Booster Gold's actually getting a movie. That's dope. Especially after Blue Beetle. It's like, hopefully we can build to something there. Yeah. Or I mean, even better. I love shows. Like I love good quality TV.
Yeah.
So I honestly
you're
feel
not
like,
wrong about that. Like it was really just you reminding me that it was a series brought back everything from the press release, and it was like
You
it
had
just
a
opened up.
flashback.
Yeah.
I get it. No, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like superheroes are tailor made for television. So more shows, the better, in my opinion.
That's
I don't think
fair.
they've been executed well on television recently in some of the stuff. But look at Batman the Animated Series, look at Daredevil, look at the first few seasons of Arrow and The Flash. They're really great because superheroes are comic books and they were released weekly or monthly. So they were always that serialized storytelling. So I think shows fit them really well. Movies, budgetary reasons, Superman needs a movie. But, you know, if we can do them well on TV, which we are right here, I think it'd be great. It could be great. Joel, I know your answer, but what are you thinking when it comes to Marvel and DC?
Well, just to start off, I'm very excited for both sides, obviously. But if I had to pick one that I'm more excited for, it's usually I usually tend to lean towards the unknown because I more or less know what I'm getting with Marvel in certain aspects. Like the stuff I'm really excited for, we're a while away from it, which is X-Men. I'm really excited for the X-Men, but it's going to be a while. Like I'll get a taste of it in Deadpool 3, but that's really the end of that version of it until we get the new version of it. So it's going to be a little bit of a wait. Now,
and even then, how long will it take for them to reboot?
Right.
Right.
I don't want to wait that. I mean, I have no choice, but I'm just at a point where it's like I am excited for everything coming. Like I'm very excited for Daredevil. I love fucking Daredevil, and like to see him come back at the end, make him now MCU with Charlie Cox coming back. I love that, and I'm very excited to see him next year in his whatever 20 episodes. So that he's the only series that gets that many next year. Very excited for Born Again. That's really cool. I'm really looking forward to fucking Captain America, Brave New World. I'm very excited for that. Thunderbolts looks interesting. I can't wait till they fucking finally cast a Fantastic Four. I really can't. Narrow that down already.
I would not be surprised if that comes out in the next couple hours before this strike.
You know what? That'd be fucking
Fingers
great.
crossed.
Like Jesus Christ. Narrow it down.
Right.
But look, we have Secret Wars coming. That like if like Spider-Man No Way Home and Deadpool 3 is going to be basically the No Way Home of the Fox universe. Secret Wars is going to be all of it fucking thrown into the mix, right? Like a blender. So yes, I'm very much excited for the multiverse saga to end, just so I could get to that point. And I'm excited for the journey. But the unknown of the DC universe is something I've waited for. Like what we've seen with Marvel. Like what we've gotten was like a hodgepodge thrown at the wall version of it in the DCU. And some of it worked, some of it didn't work. And I loved a lot of the actors and some of the characters they've used. Because again, I'm a big DC guy as much as I'm a Marvel guy. I hate picking sides, but my favorite superhero is Batman. I mean, that's my number one. My number one all the time, everywhere, right? So yes, I'm very excited for the new Batman when they eventually cast him in Brave and the Bold, and I'm very excited to see Damian Wayne come to life for the first time ever, like in live action. I'm very excited for everything I've heard and seen in Superman Legacy. I'm happy we got a casting for Corn Sweat, and there's just so much we don't know, like what the costumes are going to look like. How is this all going to connect? There's the mystery of how the fuck they make sense of it all. It's still very cool for me. Like, how are they going to make sense of it? I'm very excited by that. I've been waiting for Green Lantern, something that's not whatever Ryan Reynolds did over there at that movie, for a very, very long time. Very long time. He's got that movie put that character on hold. That's why I feel bad for the Flash, because the Flash don't deserve that bullshit. But that character suffered for it. It's not fair. They better not hold it off, and he should not suffer the same fate that Green Lantern did all these years later. It's stuff like that I'm
not getting the Flash at 2030.
That's what I mean. I don't want that to happen. And now that we have a fleshed out universe, you don't have to wait as long for these movies to come out. And hopefully it is a cohesive universe. I'm looking forward to something that I grew up with, which is like the Justice League animated series. To see all of it come together the way I've always wanted it to intrigues me more, because we haven't seen it done right for DC. So that definitely excites me a little bit more than what I've already gotten established MCU. Good for them. I want them to continue. DC is not there, so I want them. That excites me more. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm in a similar boat. Like you said, like the production and the creation of this universe
Right.
is so fascinating. We're seeing the birth of a cinematic universe before our eyes
Right.
in a way that
It's
we
been a
really
while.
never have.
Right. Not like this.
Yeah, and it's like it sparked that excitement in me again, because going back to the Marvel page right here, don't get me wrong, I want to see all of these, and I'm sure I'm going to like most of these, but I'm
Man,
also
you're not
very
gonna
much
like all of them.
Blade.
You're not gonna like all of them.
I already don't like a few of these on here, man. So
Well, we're cutting those off. We're cutting. Well, you don't like Secret Invasion.
can't cut them off.
You pointed to that with it. You don't like Secret Invasion. Oh man,
I didn't finish episode 1, did you?
I assumed you went
Oh, I
back.
didn't know that.
I did not.
Very
I'm gonna go watch the bear.
It's understandable.
That's fair.
You know,
Take it easy,
When
Trayvon.
you're done with the bear, go back. I mean,
Take
watch
it
more than
easy.
one thing.
Look,
It's
I'm
bullshit.
telling you, I will give it. What gets me through is I know that this is all connected. I was like, I have to watch everything.
I got up
If
at
I knew it
4:30
wasn't
this
connected.
morning to watch Secret Invasion before work. That's how dedicated I am to this bullshit.
Why does it gotta be
Trayvon said
bullshit?
he watched it.
Because I'm dedicated.
Well, I watched it because it's connected. If it wasn't connected,
Yeah.
like
See-
they said it's an Elseworld thing, I would not watch it.
you see, I was in Trayvon's camp. I was very much in that same camp of I need to watch all of these because they're connected. It's good. And then I got to the point where it's like I don't care anymore. Like whatever. If it's important,
Yeah.
I'll find out. New rock
I
stars
be
will tell
forgetting
me.
stuff all the
I'll
time
tell me.
anyway, so.
I care too much, and I do like.
I enjoy the series. Samuel L. Jackson is doing great.
As
Sure.
long, yeah, that's
he
great.
is.
Like my point is, Marvel has so much to the point where I can take a series off. Like I will watch all of these a shot. Like there's no DC stuff coming out really, and I was gonna mention my point of, yeah, but like outside of the Fantastic Four and the X-Men casting, like production on Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars is going to happen, and we'll see set photos, and that'll be cool. And then the trailer will I'll wait for the trailer. That'll get me excited.
Right.
It's getting the trailer. On the DC side, though, I want to see what the costumes look like. I want to see what the set does like. What does Metropolis look like?
Right.
Like that's what got me invested. That's how I felt about like when they were making the first Avengers movie. And it's like every set photo, I was excited because like, oh my gosh, Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, and the Hulk are in the same movie. That's not excitement I get from Marvel anymore because we've been doing that for years.
Yeah.
And I think that's also why we can be a bit more critical of Marvel because they've been doing this for years. Expectations are way higher for them. Aquaman, compared to some of the Marvel movies, doesn't compare. But on the DC side of things, it was one of the best ones they ever made. You know?
Yeah.
So
Visually, it was beautiful.
Visually, it was great. So on this side, like I want to see the Superman suit. I want to see Robin and Nightwing. I want to see.
I want to see the Bat Family. I want to see the Bat Family.
Right,
so bad.
just the Bat Family in general. So it's like every aspect of the DC
Swamp Thing,
universe
yeah.
I'm excited for. Whereas Marvel, it's like the hype will come when it finally gets here. Like Daredevil, I haven't thought about Daredevil. When that trailer comes and when we get a release date, I'm all for it. But I know that's gonna happen. I know that's gonna come, and my excitement level, my anticipation for it is kind of died down a bit on the Marvel
like
side.
you said,
because
we
they've just
already
been
know what we're
consistent.
getting. We already know
That's
Yeah.
what-
built in. It's built in.
I'm
Right.
excited for Loki season 2. Honestly, I just
Same.
I'll watch it.
I
watching
didn't
that
love
because it's
season
connected.
1, but I love where we're going with it.
I loved Loki.
There's a
season
lot
one.
of unanswered questions, so I do want the answers.
I thought it was amazing.
I like season 1.
I like
I'm ready
that
for
presentation.
Agatha. I'm ready for Agatha.
They,
I'm excited for
Agatha's-
Agatha.
That's gonna be it. That's the one where it's like
Isn't Agatha a musical?
is it?
No. Relax.
part of Digits?
I haven't heard
died.
that.
There's gonna be
I thought we
musical
talked about that a
segments.
while. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't
Maybe
know
I'm
if
wrong.
Aubrey
No.
Plaza can save that.
No,
That was
no.
Joker.
It's not fully. It's not Joker. It's
And the Marvels are singing.
Oh, they just have like musical segments, I guess.
The
Marvel-
Marvels
the
had a
Marvel-
musical segment, I think, that was rumored. I think that's what
the Marvels.
Could they
does
go
too,
to a
though.
singing planet or something?
Right. They're the
Okay,
planet
that's
where
fine.
they
I can
sing
deal
and
with that.
communicate, Right. But
If-
Agatha has a moment. Has songs in it. Just like
Which
because
I guess would make
Well, just
sense.
like it did in the-
Obviously, yeah. I was gonna say,
WandaVision.
like the show.
yeah.
right. It's a spiritual successor to WandaVision.
But if it's a musical, I'm out.
Relax.
I don't know if Aubrey Plaza can save that.
Breathe.
How can
Yeah,
you? How
Aubrey
can you
Plaza.
possibly? See, I can't say any of that about any of this. I can't say I'm out. Any of Marvel. for me.
Let me tell you,
Marvel is connected.
My-
I'm not
my-
going to be out. For
my Google game is strong.
Mr. Hyper.
Okay, see,
Your
I'm
team
looking at a
lost yet?
headline.
Your team
It
lost
says sounds like Agatha
Hey, whoa,
Covenant
no, whoa.
of Chaos
My
will be a
what-
musical. So that wasn't just me pulling something out of my ass. People have been
No,
saying
that's someone writing it. Doesn't mean that it's true. It's just
right.
Well, where's
But there's
the
like
article
tons of
from?
articles. Well, this one's from the top one is from IGN, and
Okay,
then the
yeah,
other
okay.
one is winteriscoming.net. I've never heard of them. But then Games Radar also talked about it. Geek Culture talked about it.
There was a moment. There was a moment when it was talked about. Yes, there was an article.
Oh, she said whoever Patty somebody in there
One
said
of the actresses.
part musical. Yeah.
So
so-
yeah, so I think they just have some musical numbers. I don't think
Right.
it'll be a
It has-
musical
Right,
show.
like more than one division
Oh,
did. Even though they
no.
had some.
Right. I can deal with if it's something like that. But
Okay,
It might be more than
my
one
bad.
division.
if we're talking full episodes where they just break out in singing,
Patty
I mean,
You
was-
didn't like
That's
Rogers
probably
the
the
musical
number,
in
though.
Hawkeye?
I hated Rogers the musical at that post credit
Y'all
scene.
hate
That
fun.
post-
Oh
credit
yeah, the
scene.
post-credit scene that was
that post
bad.
credit scene was so funny.
I
I
was
think when they
never
first
more
did
It was so
disappointed
funny.
in a post credit scene in my entire life.
That's
Yeah.
that's what made it so funny because
Save
I
the
remember so
city,
many people
help us
being
win.
so ready for that, and it was just that.
It was the whole thing too. You're like sitting there like
Yeah.
I love that it was the whole thing because they tease in episode 1. It's like for a couple seconds, and it's like, cool. I wonder what was that about, and they gave us the whole song, and now it's
Aren't
playing
they
at
gonna do
Disneyland.
that? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
there's a real one. Yeah,
The crazy thing is, I don't hate musicals. I just don't like musicals when they're not live. I'll go watch a musical, fine,
I did one.
but I can't watch TV show musicals. Like, I'd rather be in an audience and watch it live.
What
So
about
you
movie
like
musicals?
Broadway? Like you don't?
Yeah,
like
Broadway
movie
musicals and stuff are
musicals.
fine. I'll go watch those. Those are fine. I just can't watch a TV. It's supposed to be a TV show. I don't need you to be a musical.
So
And
how
then,
about High
Glee?
School Musical though?
Hated it. Hated it. Hate that it was catchy because some of those songs are very catchy. But hated it.
Wow,
Did.
High School
did you
Musical,
weren't
I didn't
in it
agree.
with us? You weren't in it to
Oh
win
my
it.
gosh!
I don't like
No.
Get your head in the game, bro.
Come on, man. What do we gotta
Shit.
be, Dig? TEAM team, Dig.
Oh my god.
Gosh,
all the
Jamie.
musical episodes of Flash are like put earplugs. I just fast forward through those.
See, now I
Hey,
can see
hey,
that. It's like the
Love
show
that.
cut it off.
Love that.
Stop disrespecting Melissa
We brought
Benoist and Grant
Glee
Gustin.
back for a
Every
little
time
bit.
there's a
We
musical
brought
episode
Glee
of
back.
Riverdale, right through those every season because there's one every season. I go right through them.
Oh, I stopped watching Riverdale.
Music Meister was the
Riverdale
greatest thing to
as a-
happen to that show.
I need to go back to Riverdale. 'cause
Riverdale
they
as a
had
whole was
powers and shit.
ridiculous.
I
They had
enjoy it.
powers. I need to go back.
It's ridiculous, yes, but I still enjoy it.
Scarlet Witch is straight up in Riverdale right now, Trayvon. You would love it.
saw it.
They
I
went
saw
past
that.
that now. All right, they
I
moved
saw
on.
What the heck?
I heard they were
Gosh.
back in the 50s now.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
I know.
Yeah.
What the heck?
We for the last season we run it back. We're doing original Archie. It's
Wow.
ridiculous.
That's how they ended it. I'm like, oh, this
Yeah.
is awesome. I'm pretty.
Oh, it's
That's
over?
kind of crazy.
No, yeah, this is the final season. It's on the final season right now.
Okay.
I'll
Wow.
go back to it when it's done.
It's weird, but everything is explainable.
It's been weird from the start too. So I mean,
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, wasn't
Yeah.
Archie sleeping with a teacher like first season?
Yeah.
That was
It
how my
was.
cousin was like, yo, this is like a different Archie. He's sleeping
It
with
is.
a teacher. And I'm like, why did you think that would sell me on the show? Why was that your selling
It's more
point?
mature. It's what it is.
it definitely is that.
All right, Trayvon. All right.
Jamie, are you excited for Marvel or DC?
I think if I had to pick a side, I would pick DC. Because like we were saying, we've seen a lot of what Marvel's more recent projects have not really hit the high notes that they were hitting with like the lead up to Endgame and Infinity War. And I definitely do echo that. I feel like the projects since those two movies have been like fine to like, oh, okay, that was pretty cool, but nothing that's like really like, oh my god, like I can't believe that just happened, or like, oh, that was really, really cool. I haven't had that feeling since then, unfortunately. I think like they kind of
Guardians?
Guardians is great.
I liked Guardians 4. Guardians 4 is actually really good, But
I'm
even
surprised
then,
I liked it like I did.
I was too. That you liked it like you did. I knew I was.
Yeah.
gonna like it.
yeah. Even then, though, it's like I don't know if I would put this above the first Guardians for me. The first Guardians, it might just be because my family has watched the first Guardians. I don't know how many times at this point, so we really enjoy that film. So it would be hard to top. But yeah, I feel like they had kind of a little bit of an advantage during when the pandemic first started, and they released like WandaVision and Loki and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and had like there was like dialogue around those shows, and like those were like the big shows of like those like 1 or 2 years in isolation, where I don't know if anybody was really talking about anything else. Even when I was in class, like going to class in Zoom, we're like, oh, you guys see the latest like Loki episode? Like, what did you guys think about that? So I think they had an advantage there where they were kind of just like the only one really putting out, I guess like they weren't the only one putting out like geek content, but it was like the geek content that like
Superhero content.
Superhero content that like the normies, I guess you want to call it, were also kind of in on a little bit. But now I feel like it's kind of catching up with them because they put out, in my opinion, too many projects. They put out too many projects in one single year. And it's got to the point where, you know, if you get like instant access to something, you kind of start to take it for granted.
That's what.
And maybe I'm taking it for granted. Maybe I'm just like, you know, the more I get of it, the more I'm like, wait, I don't know if I like this as much as I did before. But yeah, I think it's the frequency of the projects, and sometimes it's just the projects themselves are not as good as you would hope. Like Thor: Love and Thunder, that was a disappointment for me. So
They tried.
yeah,
Did they though?
They gave me Hercules at the end, so they're forgetting.
That was the best part.
It sure was.
So looking at
that was neat.
Yeah. Looking at like what DC has lined up, like I feel like I've liked DC a lot longer than I've liked Marvel. I've been a huge Batman fan since I was a kid. I wore like I think 2 or 3 different Batman costumes when I was younger, which I'm sure probably confused people, and people are probably like, she might be playing a different team or something like that. But no, I just love Batman that much. Like I want everything Batman all the time. And so I think because we haven't had like a good streak of DC movies, at least as far as like in universe, because you see the Elseworld stuff, they actually I think a lot of people would say they're really doing well with the Elseworld DC content. But as far as like mainline DC goes, we haven't had like a good streak of films, or some might even say like films that rival the Avengers movies in maybe ever. I don't know. If not, it's been a while. So I think they have a lot of potential there to kind of like win some people back over on their side and create some competition. And like I was saying for like the gaming stuff, all I want is competition, because that's going to push people to be at their best. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to see what DC has, especially with Batman the Brave and the Bold. I'm really looking forward to that. And Superman Legacy and Adventures of Superman, I'm down to check that out as well. It seems like, I haven't been like the hugest Superman fan or anything, but all the Superman content I'm actually pretty excited for. And curious to see how James Gunn's going to put his little spin on it. So definitely on Team DC for right now.
It's interesting that you mentioned the competition and how that's going to be healthy and beneficial for both of these universes, right? Us as fans are not going to lose with a functioning DC universe and Marvel universe, right?
Right.
It takes me back to 2014-ish, right? Zack Snyder announces that he's doing Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Very respectful of me to say the full title for once, by the way. So he announces that he's doing Batman vs Superman. And Kevin Feige is freaked. And he's like, what are we going to do? He changes Captain America into Civil War because he wanted to make it a bigger, more event-style film to compete with Batman versus Superman because he was under pressure. This is a thing. This is a thing that happened. Yeah, the article's still on IGN if you want to go read it. And he's like, he and the Russos retooled Civil War to incorporate a couple more Avengers to change the story a little bit, to add Robert Downey, because they had to go against BVS that same year. And
Spider-Man.
got,
What a good investment on that.
it worked, and honestly, that killed the, like, I will say that entire ordeal killed the DC universe, the DCEU at the time, because not only did you have people not loving Batman versus Superman, you had the other side saying, yeah, but we made Civil War, and that's hailed as one of the best, Marvel movies of that phase, one of the best Marvel movies, period, right, to this day. So him making that audible, one of the few audibles Kevin Feige has ever called, by the way, because he plans things out way in advance, but them retooling Civil War to compete with BVS.
He saw BVS and hold up, time out. Get him on the line.
Right. Right. So that created, like, that competition directly created one of my favorite Marvel movies. I love Civil War. And so if we can just get that consistently of them going back and forth and, like, understanding that we can't lose our audience because our competition, like, if they love the Avengers, they're going to like the Justice League. And if they start losing attention here, they're going to go over there. Same thing with DC. Like, DC had to reboot because they just couldn't beat Marvel at their own game, which is why James Gunn has the ability to get weird and say, hey, we're going to do Swamp Thing because Marvel hasn't really done anything like that before. Or we're going to do The Authority. Marvel hasn't done that before. And so, yeah, I think competition between the two is going to be really healthy. And in the long run, we're going to get more higher quality products from them, especially since Marvel's continuing to build their expansive universe. And James Gunn has said, while these all take place in the same universe, none of the projects are really going to interconnect as much as Marvel did, aside from, like, a Justice League movie. So it'll be way easier to kind of pick and choose what you want to watch. If you don't want to watch Paradise Lost, you're not going to get punished for not watching Paradise Lost, which I think is an interesting approach. We'll see if that pays off.
See, I don't like that. I want it tightly coupled. I want a universe. I don't want to, you can pick and choose. I don't like that.
Well, I think it's very much like comic books, right? Like, you pick which comics you want to read.
Yeah,
and then when the crossovers happen.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm a fan.
y'all don't know they connected.
Like, I think there will be natural connection just because, like, it is like the DC universe. So I think there will be, like, different threads and stuff that they can pull if they choose to do that later. Right. But I think that's another problem that I have with Marvel right now is, like, they're putting out so much content and it's all connected, and, like, some of it's kind of garbage, but I still got to get through it just to find out, oh, Star-Lord has a sister now. Great, I watched the holiday special.
Hey, the holiday special was not garbage. Slow down.
It wasn't garbage. It wasn't garbage, but I would like my time back. Wow, okay.
So,
no.
I feel like you don't say that about something you like. Like, I didn't leave Black Panther going, man, I need my time back. It was great, but man, I need my time back.
I didn't say I liked it. I just said it's not garbage. Like, I don't think it's a bad film, but I'm just like, I didn't need it. I didn't need to watch it.
Mantis saved Christmas.
She did. She's fun, but
I don't know. I guess I don't know. I like DC. Love Justice League Unlimited. I guess I don't know. Marvel has just done a great job for me so far that I'm like, I'm over here with y'all. Like, I'm about to root for y'all. I'm not like DC is. Yes, it's coming. For me, it's like it's not until 2025, and then also the Batman was I felt like the Batman was a great start, and now that's not connected to anything. I'm like, okay, like, what do you like? I can't wait to see. Like, he has this plan. Let's see if it works.
Yeah, you want to wait to see what it looks like.
I think there will be connective tissue. I just don't think they're gonna make it so you have to, like, watch every little thing to get what's going on.
I think that what Mike said, you're not going to be punished if you miss certain.
I want to be punished.
You want to be punished? Kinky bastard.
That didn't mean it that way.
It's only when Denton said "all right" when it lost.
I didn't think you meant it that way. It was still just like, all right, why does somebody have to get punished? Like,
no, but like Marvel Phase 1 was very much a similar vein, though, right? Like, all of those movies stand on their own. First Avenger, Iron Man 1 and 2, Incredible Hulk. Even though we can debate if Hulk was canon or not, Thor, like they all were their own standalone origin stories, and then they came together in the team up film. I think it's just going to be kind of like that, where we already know a Lantern is in Superman, so like the connective tissue will be Guy Gardner was in Superman, and now he's talking to Hal Jordan, but he may not mention, "Hey, I did this with Superman." You'll just be like, "Oh yeah, guys, this is the same. This is still Nathan Fillion. He's playing Guy Gardner in all media." So it'll be small connections like Marvel Phase 1, not giant connections like Marvel Phase 3 and 4, at least to start. This can always evolve when we get to Chapter 2, you know?
All right.
Also, announce a video game right now.
Tell us about Wonder
Get
Woman.
started on it right
That's
now.
the hard part. I don't know how
right now.
Let's update on Wonder Woman. That's all I need.
Now that's the stuff
I
we're
would
not
love
gonna get
that.
till 2030. Like
No, announce it right now so the game can be released by 2026 at least. Like, just get started, please.
I mean, that's plausible.
Wonder Woman should come out like this year or early next year at this point. So
They
Tell me.
announced it like a little over a year ago.
I don't need another
Was it
Batman
only a
game.
year
I'm
ago?
sorry.
It was
Feels like
Game Awards 2021 going into 2022.
It was the same one that they announced.
all right, end of next year.
Wolverine,
I think so around that time.
Wolverine and Spider-Man.
No more Batman games, please. Thank you. All right.
Oh no.
I'm good.
Hold on.
I'm good.
Hold on. No.
I'm good.
Say that.
Trayvon.
But I had enough of them. We're good.
Come on now,
Let's
Trayvon.
move on to the other characters, okay?
I'm
Come
gonna be
on.
real. I'm gonna be real. I'm with Trayvon. Hear me out. Brave and the Bold is a Batman movie that has the Bat family in it. Make a Nightwing game instead. Make a Red Hood game instead.
They're the same though to me. I can't.
No.
Would you settle
They're
for
still
Green
the
Arrow?
same.
Oh, I need Green Arrow. Like I pitched
Green
years
Arrow.
ago.
I
Do
need
2
somebody
Green
with
Arrow.
powers.
You want him to fly? No.
I
Everybody
need
needs
Wonder
to fly.
Woman, Flash, somebody with some powers.
I want
But
Superman just because it seems like it's been too long. Unnecessary. I don't have a Superman game yet, Earl. That's crazy.
Zatanna might be cool.
Yeah, I'll take
I would
that.
love a Constantine game. I
That'd be
know
cool
it sounds
too.
weird.
Like that too.
Yeah.
Constantine.
Speaking of like all these characters being in Superman, I'm really interested to see how this works with some of these other movies. Like Supergirl's the only one I think we know what the story of that's actually going to entail because
More or
it's
less.
based on a book. But like,
Right.
will Constantine just be in Swamp Thing?
If that happens, I'll be fucking excited. That'd be fucking dope.
'Cause-
I never thought of that. That's a good point. Maybe he will.
Yeah, because like
Even though
I
they're
initially
still
thought it'd be an
apparently working on
origin, but who knows?
I mean, they are working on. I don't know if it probably is Elseworld, but the Constantine 2 with Keanu Reeves apparently.
I thought
still
that
being
got
made.
shelved.
Not
It
shelved
should.
yet.
It should.
Okay. Damn.
Uh,
All right.
Savage.
I'm not saying it will. It won't be. I'm just saying as of right. Last time I heard, they're still planning on writing it. So I don't know.
No more things that's not connected. So
One I just saw
It's gonna
from
be
the
worth
Wonder
it.
Woman game updates Twitter page. They were talking to one of the designers about their DC knowledge. So we know the game. And the person in there, they keep talking as I'm working on the game. So they're at least working on the game.
I am very excited for that game.
So
I
I
can't be
wonder.
excited anymore. I'm nervous.
No, but
It was
I'm
announced December
wondering-
2021, by the way.
so remember how we had this conversation a few weeks back, maybe a month ago, and we were like they just started like writing the game, or they were like hiring writers for the story of this
Yeah.
game. What if that's a part of the DCU now, since games are tying
It
in?
could
Like,
be.
what if it was held back and James Gunn had to help them develop the story because this will now be the canon Wonder Woman?
That could have restarted everything. Because who knows? Because that was like a year
That's what's-
apart from each other.
Yeah.
That's why it's taken so long. That's why they're just now getting to the writing stage, because
Hmm.
they had to shelve everything that they were up
That's
to.
interesting. What company
Yeah.
was supposed to be making that?
Monolith.
What did they do?
Shadow of Mordor.
Oh, those guys.
Aren't they also doing Black Panther?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Right.
Very
Interesting.
cool.
how do you guys feel about all these like Wolverine pictures that are
Excuse me?
coming out?
I like
The Wolverine set photos.
Yeah, like
Oh,
guys
I
have
love
only seen claws
yeah.
now and everything. I'm like,
I
damn
love
it.
his stance. Everything he's
Oh,
like
wait, they got
down.
more? With
Yeah.
I
claws?
don't see anymore.
Now I got
He
claws.
looks bulkier. Like I know it's the
Oh.
costume, but I love the way it looks. Like the way he's like presenting
Drop
himself.
them in the Discord if you got them.
It looks
And I can try and pull them
beautiful.
up.
I still can't stand the sleeves, but it still looks good.
The sleeves
You
are
know what I
still
mean?
bad, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about this on Monday. You weren't here. How was Mission Impossible, by the way?
It was actually really good, and I compare it. I can't differentiate it from Fast and Furious movies at this point. For me, they're very similar. They're the same thing.
Wow, I feel
They're doing the same stuff. Like, ugh. Like, they get in the mission, they go do it, they jump off shit.
Can't
like,
say the difference.
I mean, they got.
I mean, if you enjoy them both, that's fine.
I do. I'm just saying, like, it's just I can't. I don't know. I can't be like, oh, this one's better than that. I'm like, oh, they're the same thing to me at this point. Like, fun.
As long as they're fun, I guess.
Fun.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both action movies, I guess.
Yeah.
Same category.
Yeah, lots of stunts.
I only got one picture. There you go. Because I had to mute somebody earlier because they kept posting too many. I grabbed one picture, stopped.
I'm just happy he has claws. Before they were like, what's it called?
Bar is so low. He's got claws.
Yeah. You know what? That's classically how he looks. Ugly as fuck.
Some people are taking it while they're fighting or whatever. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that is
it's in motion. Show the one that he's crouching, Trayvon.
Hold on. I'm trying to find.
It looks dope.
Huh.
I want to see
his claws look a little short.
Yeah, maybe.
Short claws for a not short person.
That's not that.
They had to compensate somewhere.
Right.
You know?
Is it really that short?
No,
it's
They
average
look
length.
kind of short. I don't know.
Really?
But in my mind, it's like Wolverine like scratches are just like a huge
Well,
scratch
from
from like
crouching.
corners. I don't know.
Let's see when he's crouching. Let's see. I just had the ones where he's like fighting with Deadpool or whatever.
I know he's.
Was he
upset
fighting
he's
or
making
dancing
that.
with Deadpool?
He's fighting. Let me see.
It looks like choreographer.
One of
Let me
them
see if
looked
I
like they were
You can't
dancing.
find it.
And I
I'll
was
see if
so
I find it.
confused.
I think I retweeted it.
That makes sense for Deadpool though.
It's in the chat.
Oh, they're not bad. Oh, the one with the sword. That's cool too. Man, they going in.
Yeah, that's. All right, and now I gotta mute the rest of that movie.
Yeah.
Saw enough. On the mute train it goes.
You gotta
You're not being muted. People just posting the picture without any hashtags or anything. You can't do that.
Damn it!
Oh wow.
I'm gonna have to start blocking people.
Yeah,
I retweet
it's
shit
getting
all
crazy.
the
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It feels a little short to me, but I'm not against it. I'm just
Are
like,
those
well,
bullet holes?
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like it.
yeah,
Interesting.
getting shot. a
I'm
little
interested that he's not wearing a mask, notably. But
Me too.
Deadpool
I'm
is.
trying to figure out what's going on there.
Bit. I don't
A
know.
little
It's kind of been a
disappointing.
He
thing.
probably was like, I ain't wearing that shit.
Yeah,
I can see him
it's been a
saying, I can
thing
see him
with
saying that.
actors not wanting to wear masks and stuff. It's been a thing.
It's a thing, but then we got Wade over here. I'm sure that's not Ryan Reynolds.
I mean, we knew he was gonna.
But-
He
No, I'm
had
saying
to.
I can see Wolverine's character being
That's
like,
some guy named Jimmy. That's definitely not Ryan Reynolds. That's just some random dude
Oh,
named
yeah.
Jimmy.
But we know Ryan will wear a mask if he has
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, because he's supposed to look
Wolverine's
scabbed up
like-
anyway. It's not like his actual face.
I wonder who gives him that suit, whatever. He probably like, what's this here? I'm not wearing that shit. What's I put that mask on? I wear the suit. I ain't wearing that. I ain't put that mask on. I can see
Fair.
that
Right.
being a comment that they just made.
Yeah.
Just to write it off.
Yeah, it's a callback to the first X-Men movie where they complained about wearing yellow.
Or when they just, or what was that one where they asked him to
That would be
join
fun.
them and help him? He just said, "Fuck you." So like,
Yeah.
Oh, that was
First class.
yeah,
That was
first
first
yeah.
class.
So
Pete.
he's not not far from doing that again.
Yeah.
So
Going back to DC for a second, we've got a new comment from James Gunn. I'm going to read this because
he just keeps commenting.
I don't know
doesn't
why
he?
I thought you meant like on here, and I was like, what?
He's watching the show.
James Gunn. Come on.
I was gonna say, I
down.
take back
Doing the
all my other
script.
statements.
Lanterns is
Oh.
great.
Yeah, I told you I was.
Are you
excited for
hired?
DC.
Oh, these look great. Okay.
Right?
So,
Don't they look good?
Yeah. Okay.
a
Can you
comment
share
here.
with the class?
What are you looking at? Yeah.
I'm gonna put them in the chat. Hold on.
It's more Wolverine pictures.
Oh, never mind. You can keep them.
It
You
looked
sure?
good though. Watch-
Yeah, no, I've seen enough. I
They're
don't
without claws. It's fine. It's not even
Okay,
fighting
No
anyone.
claws. No claws.
Yeah.
This is more of him clawless.
Hold on. There you go.
There it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I saw those earlier.
Yeah, look. I love his crouching stance. That
Yeah.
looks so right. It's stupid.
Oh,
It looks so
I'm
tall.
Pulling
saying-
it up in the
I love
chat.
it.
Y'all want to see John Cena and Barbie?
Do
No,
I
I want to hear also what Mike was talking about. We have more comments.
Yeah.
We'll get there. But for chat, this is what Joel's hyping up. He's in a Wolverine stance, but also just highlights how freakishly tall.
That's what I said. He
man
looks
is
so
compared to
tall.
Wolverine.
He looks so tall. That's a big person.
I don't worry about how tall. I don't worry about
Why
how
y'all hating about the tall people, man? Stop hating on them.
he filling his suit out. That's all that matters. You know.
All right.
Okay.
That he want to be punished again.
Hey.
All right, Jamie. All right. What are we doing here? All right.
So this is on Instagram. Somebody leaves a comment. James Gunn's talking about the castings again. Somebody responds, "So excited, James, that this is going to be a great Superman movie. But what about Nathan's character in the Suicide Squad? He played a character in the Suicide Squad. Is he supposed to be alive? Are you rebooting that character? Are those films in continuity? I'm confused." And James Gunn replies, "DC Studios movies and the canon start with Legacy. So continuity starts with Superman
bring
Legacy.
Characters in.
What about Creature Commando?
That's what, you know what? I thought about that, and I was like, so it's Creature Commandos.
See?
That's a little confusing.
See the problem? See?
No, but
So, Creature Commandos not
they
canon?
good. They good. You don't need to worry about them.
I think he misspoke. But whatever.
He
yeah,
definitely
probably just forgot to
misspoke.
add him.
Yeah.
But
He's like, you know
Take
what?
his phone.
I think that does answer the question, and it was kind of getting to what we were talking about earlier with Viola Davis coming back for the Waller show, with Peacemaker coming back as well. Those are just reboots. I don't think they're going to connect to anything we've seen before.
I mean,
Waller is probably not going to reference anything we've seen before.
Can he just say the characters continue, not the things they were in? Like just
Yeah.
just like he's doing with Blue Beetle, basically.
Yeah,
I
I think that's essentially what he's saying by
Yeah.
canon starts with Legacy. Everything else is not canon anymore.
I'm saying, but the way the characters were already portrayed can continue, I guess. I mean,
More
I
or
guess,
less.
yeah, just the films or whatever they were in doesn't matter, I guess.
Anymore, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you see them in the comics now, that Waller and Peacemaker are way more connected.
Oh,
Yeah, they're always together now. It's crazy.
okay.
It's annoying. I hate it because
It's like they were never connected. Now they're always together. It's like, all right, they're the girl Peacemaker. What's her name? Damn it,
Yeah.
she's not Peacemaker. She has a different name, but she looks like it.
Mm.
I don't know that.
I hate when the movies bleed into the comics that much. Like you can do it a couple times and make the reference, but it's like, yeah, this was never a thing. You're just doing it because the show did it.
Oh, they put movie Bloodsport, like the design and everything in the comic book.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he looked. I mean, don't get me wrong. He looked way better than we used to. So
Yeah, I'll allow that. He looked awful.
That's fair then.
yeah. Bloodsport design was cool. Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're in a good spot with Marvel and DC. Deadpool is shaping up to be really fun. I'm a little scared because Ryan Reynolds is known for doing like quick rewrites and ad libs and stuff, and that they can't do that right now because of the writer's strike. So I hope that doesn't hurt Deadpool, but I think everything else I'm really excited for.
Luckily,
Hopefully
he's
he-
always in a mask.
Yeah, I was gonna say hopefully he also worked a lot with the writers when they could. Maybe.
Obviously, yeah. Oh, they're gonna
I know
do a
for
lot of
Deadpool
rewrites.
1 and 2, he was doing it like day of. Like
I
before
know.
the shoots.
Yeah.
As soon as the strike's over, he'll do reshoots.
Yeah,
Maybe.
That's very true. Yeah.
everybody's going back for reshoots.
I
after
just
that.
thought you realistically you could film the action and then just do ADR recording
yeah.
after the
Especially
fact.
if he's wearing
for,
the mask, too.
Right.
Yeah.
For some,
Not for,
to help punch up some
Hugh Jackman.
dialogue.
Yeah.
Right.
Hugh Jackman, it's like
Yeah.
you just have to cut away from him.
Right.
You have his lines just fed off screen.
Exactly.
That'd be so weird every time he has to
That's
say
fine. I
something.
mean,
Cuts
Deadpool,
away.
well, Deadpool will completely accept it.
That is true. That's the other thing that
I would not be
that
surprised
to
if
their
they
benefit.
if they ad lib a line about the strike during the
Oh,
movie.
for sure. I can see it.
Super meta.
Oh.
Bro.
That'd be incredible.
I wanted
honestly.
to say this, but I can't change it because
That's
or something like that. It'd be
how
funny.
I had it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the movie, like the third act happens and he's just like, hey, so we didn't finish writing the movie, so there's no battle at the end, and it just ends, cuts.
That
Oh,
would be
crazy.
great.
I honestly would love it.
Like the first movie, like that there was supposed to be a bigger fight at the end with like guns and shit, and
Yeah.
then they didn't have the budget, so they left the guns in the taxi, so there was no
Yeah.
big gunfight.
Yeah.
I love
That
that.
is that's creativity at its best.
It
right
is. Yeah.
there.
I'm ready for the
that's
marketing. I'm ready for the marketing. That's what I'm ready for.
Well, he's the best marketer
Yeah.
of this
Yeah.
movie, so
It was
Yeah.
just them announcing the movie was fun. Having
Yeah.
Ryan and Hugh on the couch talking about like that was
And
fun
now
by
it was
itself.
It's like,
dope.
shh, when he put his hand
Yeah.
up like that, I was like,
So
yeah, that's
think
cool.
about it. It's the next Marvel movie after the Marvels, so we have a lot of preparing to do when that comes out. As long
So
as
it's
it
excited
stays
for that
on
one.
track.
I guess in between there was what, Loki and Echo.
Loki's before the Marvels, and
Oh.
Echo's the same month. It's at the end of the month,
Oh, okay.
November.
And that was dropping the whole thing.
It's
That's
dropping
dropping
all
the
at
whole-
once,
All at once.
which
Yeah.
scares me.
It is a little scary. And then we have Daredevil should come out before Deadpool, but we'll see.
Mm.
And Madam Web and I guess they're gonna move beyond the Spider-Verse. I'm not sure.
For sure.
I mean,
though.
it's they
Yeah,
already
yeah.
started on it.
Right.
Lied to us from the start.
Right.
It was never gonna happen.
Beyond the Spider Verse coming in like 2026.
Madam Web though, guys. No.
Look,
Is that really a thing for real still?
Yeah, that comes out next
Oh
year.
yeah,
doesn't
well,
it?
forgot about Craven.
That's before. That's October.
We could have
Look.
kept that.
my
Oh,
hype
yeah,
for
that
Madam
was
Web
October.
quickly died when like clearly they ain't getting a sequel. This girl has already jumped ship before the movie. came
Yeah,
out.
Madam Web is done. So
Anya Corazon.
Like I was hyped for Madam Web for some reason. Like, yeah, this could be fun. It's weird.
I'm
We'll see how it
intrigued.
guess.
But
Now it's like, oh, why is she sticking around? She ain't gonna be in Madam Web sequels. What's going on?
I guess not. I guess we'll have to see.
Starlight and Black Noir are also in Call of Duty. I didn't know that.
Oh, so they had officially announced Starlight because they didn't announce.
Yeah, it's Starlight, Homelander, and Black Noir.
I'm like, why did not
They're
Soldier?
really gonna be in the game,
Yeah,
like playable.
that's they're showing in this trailer.
Oh,
I'll
shit.
post
What's
it
the
in the
trailer?
Discord.
Give
Oh.
us the trailer. We
Yeah,
can
we'll
watch
Okay,
it.
maybe I will buy this game. Okay.
I threw it in the Discord.
Like, why is Soldier Boy not playable? It made no sense.
Oh wow. Huh.
IG.
You gotta find out if they can fly or not, though, Trayvon.
Homelander was definitely floating.
Oh,
All right, I'm gonna pull it up here so we can watch it.
Oh, okay, because I was definitely about to watch it.
Yeah, I know.
Hi guys.
That's why I said it out loud. Okay. Let me move this box. to the
I gotta
side.
keep watching The Boys. I paused.
oh, we gotta go back.
Where'd you pause?
I think I'm like towards the end of season 2, I think.
Okay.
Questioning it. She's like, I don't know.
You gotta
Yeah,
start
it's
going
been
back.
a little
Maybe.
bit because I
Start
finished
from
season
episode
1
one.
and I was like, oh, that was crazy. And then I took a break because of school, and then I came back to it because I graduated. And I'm like, now I can finish watching The Boys. And then like my life exploded after that. So
Just catch
No,
up
you just
before
gotta-
Gen V comes out.
You got to start over from episode 1 now.
I think I watched
we
that
alright.
animated one. There was an animated.
That
special.
was-
Oh, that was great.
Diabolical.
I never watched
Yeah.
it. I need
I
to watch
forgot
it.
about that. Yeah, I gotta put that on the list as well.
Diabolical was pretty cool.
So many
Yep.
things to watch.
Yes.
All right, let's watch
Got a
this
list.
trailer. Let me know if you guys can hear it. Nothing's playing yet.
Yeah, I can hear it.
There it is. Where the hair's like- Oh, it's floating.
Going somewhere.
Your
Favorite suits have arrived
I can do
for the
that?
biggest event in Call of Duty history.
I have no
They
idea.
don't need powers to show their super.
Oh, they have guns.
Yeah, no, look at it.
Never doubt that America's greatest
Maybe
heroes
when you're
are
playing
here
as
to
like
save the day.
I don't know.
Melee.
It almost seems like Battlefront, where like sometimes you could like summon Darth Vader.
I'm so
and then
glad
fight.
you're here to save the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll cauterize this later.
Homelander kind of works with the gun though, because that's like.
So are we
fighting
them?
them?
Guns.
Is that Tempe? How did they get Tempe?
Oh, you could juice up.
Not super jump.
We're all f***ed.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, shit.
I'll still crush you.
What is this game?
Oh, shit.
They're
Electric
trying to
shockwave?
be Fortnite right now.
Yeah. Oh, You wouldn't understand it.
This is not what I thought Call of Duty was at all.
It wasn't until now.
Think about this.
I'm
Call
saying
of
it
Duty
About this if I cared.
Call of Duty also did a collaboration with Attack on Titan like a few months ago as well, which is like you would never have put the two together. But
And
This
it's
is available today.
Is that
Wow.
specifically for Warzone? Like,
This is a new
I
game
guess.
or what?
then it's free.
That's fucking
Yeah. It says Call of Duty Warzone, so I assume it's.
I would assume so.
It's
It
free?
says starting today, so Warzone is free. Yeah,
Crazy.
All right.
yeah. Go download it now.
All right.
No,
Never
I
cared.
can't tell. Are we playing as Homelander, Starlight, and Black Noir? Are we fighting them? I can't tell.
I don't know.
I'm looking
It's like
now.
both. It looks like if they do have you where you're like flying as Homelander using like the heat vision and stuff, it might be kind of like a Battlefront situation where like after a while in Battlefront your team gets so many points you could summon Darth Vader or like Luke Skywalker or like Han Solo and things like that. Or it could be that you can play as Homelander, but when you do, you just have the gun and you're kind of like dressed up as him. Maybe you have more health or something. I don't know. And then like the boss will be Homelander.
They were showing like them like getting the powers at certain points, like some of the regular
Yeah.
people too.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were using the
So-
Temp V.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's interesting.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Oh.
That was.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that when I said the trailer was out.
Invincible, we need to lock in Omni-Man for Mortal Kombat. I'm telling you. Lock it in.
True.
That would be fun.
Thank Sub-Zero. Thank.
Oh my god,
what
that'd be
is-
hilarious.
His ultimate. He's got to take them through the train, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yes. Yes, we have to see that.
Oh,
That
yeah,
show
like
started
fatality.
and ended crazy.
I can't
It
wait to
did.
see
Yeah, when is it supposed to come
My
back?
most watched
Is it
YouTube
this
video.
year?
My reaction to the first episode.
They
Yeah,
said
I
they'll-
watched that one too.
I think they're
I
gonna
haven't
give
seen
news at
I was
Comic
really
Con.
shocked.
we're gonna find out
Yeah.
next week. Yeah. AJ is
Okay.
going to have to let us know how that turns
Stop.
out because he's definitely going to that panel.
Yes.
I
Wow.
think we're looking good on the superhero front. We've got Invincible and clearly the boys just holding down the R-rated
Yes, it
content.
is.
Right.
Yeah.
We've got the Marvel Universe continuing to chug along as we get closer to the Avengers. I still want to know what the new Avengers team is going to look like. That has to be the
Yep.
plot of the first movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
And then we've got DC, everything going on there. James Gunn talks too much. He needs to go back in the lab though and
Mhm.
get this stuff started.
Yep.
But I'm
I think
excited.
That's when he talks is when he's out of the lab. He's like, I can breathe.
Yeah, and then he
He's
comes.
venting.
I just hope he announces DC fandom next year or something. Like bring that
Oh,
back.
They have to have it, I feel
That's
like.
cool.
Well, he
As
said
long
they're going
as-
to be at Comic-Con next year, so that might.
Yeah.
replace
So
it.
there's probably no
okay.
fandom.
But there is a D23, right? Well, it won't matter.
Yeah, next year. Yeah.
Interesting.
Won't apply to them, but yeah.
Right.
Right. But at least good to know at least something will be coming.
We have a backup if San Diego doesn't work out.
Yeah. So that's exciting. Guys, I think that's it for today's stream, unless you have anything else you wanted to talk about.
I have nothing else.
No,
All right.
That's right now.
To everybody watching, thank
No.
you for what? Go ahead, JB. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, we'll find out here in the next couple hours whether the actors will be going on strike, in which case I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about next week.
One of my
Yeah.
buddies,
Because all the delays that are getting announced.
one of my
Yeah.
buddies, he lives in California, and he was here today. He was like, "Yeah, it's over. It's don't even wait out the rest of the hours. It's done."
Yeah.
Yeah,
We know. Yeah, we all
Yeah.
right. I feel like we
So,
all. I feel like when they told the publicist, that was sort of like, "All right, you should know."
yeah.
I was talking to him, and he was like, "Yeah, that's it."
It's just like, in the combination with like the letter that we saw, like, was it yesterday or 2 days ago, where they're just like trying to break the writers down and stuff like that. I'm really hoping that
That was
Cool
messed
shit.
up.
like if the actors are not getting like the deal that they want, they go on strike, because like these corporation stuff need to realize who they're messing with.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you mentioned that quote that was in that Deadline article. So they had to they updated the article like an hour before we went live,
Oh.
and it said these views and opinions do not represent the rest of the studios. And
Wow.
Oh yeah, 'cause I mean, like, some
But we
other
don't even know
studio
which studio it came from, though.
Right, so some studio
That's the
had
problem.
definitely called and was like, "Yo,
exactly.
Yep. All right, this is making us look bad, man. Take it down.
They need to call it out. They need to say which studio it was. Point it to them. Point it to them. They don't even know who it is. Just point it to the studio.
Yeah.
Get the pitchfork.
Well,
ready.
we know they all feel that way, but somebody said the quiet part out loud. And that
Right.
was the
Yeah.
problem.
under that guise of anonymity, they were like, look,
Yep.
we can talk."
That was after a
This
couple
was
drinks.
sent to me.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
What?
we just got to
Oh.
address this for a second.
From DCU leaks.
DCEU leaks is giving us a Marvel scoop.
Nice.
Interesting.
Dang.
I
Sure.
like to see people branch out. You know,
Is he Jewish?
you gotta
Diversify.
always
That's the point.
reinvent yourself. You know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're
The
saying
official
tomorrow
Twitter
morning
account?
it'll be Marvel Leaks. They'll change the name tomorrow.
I just think this is not the first Marvel scoop they've dropped in the last 2 weeks. I don't even know if this is a real scoop or if they're legitimate. I just think it's funny that DCEU Leaks has been giving us Marvel scoops.
they're a
Who's the guy
Reddit
from the
subthread.
Bear?
They're like
That's
a
right.
subreddit. If looking
Yeah.
at the so like
What's the track record at the moment?
that's true.
I don't
Their
know.
last leaks, did it pan out?
Oh,
Let's
shit,
find
he was
out.
David Lieberman.
Check the Carfax.
I didn't catch that. He was Micro and Punisher. I didn't even
Yeah, they said
recognize
that
him.
in one of their tweets.
I had no
believe
idea that was him. Oh, I remember seeing that Huntress one. I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah.
I
I-
didn't realize who that
Night.
guy was until just now. The Bear.
When that Steven Broussard thing popped up, my mind went to Chris Broussard, and I'm like, they're clearly wrong. I just saw. I'm like, they're clearly wrong.
Oh my gosh. Chris.
like Chris Broussard doing what? Like, no, they're clearly off.
Oh
Which
man.
part? Which I missed.
It said something by Steven Broussard was coming. All I saw was Broussard, and my mind just said Chris
Oh.
Broussard. And I'm like, no, they're clearly wrong.
Oh, you guys are on crack. No.
Right.
No, that's
Well-
Stephen A. and Max Kellerman.
Yeah. Wrong.
Oh jeez.
I mean,
I'll take
would I be
your
against-
dollar?
Would I be against that casting? No.
No.
I would not.
I think
Do I
it's
think
good.
it's
That's why I
accurate?
think it's fake.
Right. I was
That's
gonna say, do
why
I think it's accurate?
too
No.
good. Yeah, I didn't even know he's Jewish. I'm very happy. I mean, now we have another option. I didn't know there was an option. I like a,
Huntress movie. Sure. Okay.
a Korean Huntress. I think that's what that got me. I was like, oh, okay,
Sure.
sure.
They also said Wonder Twins is gonna happen.
Again,
In
the one that got
chapter
canceled
2.
when Zazu got here is gonna get resurrected.
They said Vanessa Kirby's going to be the Invisible Woman.
That's just lazy. We all know that.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of people have said that.
Everybody's saying that.
Joseph Quinn is going to be Human Torch.
So it's like 5 other people. Let's see.
What has he been in?
Stranger
Oh,
Things. He was
yeah,
Eddie
the most-
Munson.
That's right.
Oh,
He
interesting.
was the most popular man on the planet for at least a month.
Yeah, on IMDb, he was like, I think #1.
Was he?
So to
Everyone loves
Let
him.
me see. No,
To
yeah,
answer
he
your
was
question-
#1 for a little bit.
there's nothing here to suggest the validity of any of their scoops because all these are projects that haven't been confirmed yet.
Mhm.
But
Right.
DCE leaks. Breaking Fantastic Four would be the most funniest. Like that'd be so funny.
That would be fun.
I'd die laughing.
That would be funny. But I was really hoping it would be what's his name? I lost his name.
For which role?
Thing for Ben.
David Diggs was rumored.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
He digs.
That's such an unorthodox one, but
It
I
is.
think
But I want to take it.
I was intrigued. That's the one where I'm like, huh, that's interesting. I really want to see how this works out. Marvel, and it's not a bad thing. They're just very safe with their castings. Like all of them they've been great, but I don't think they really get weird with it. David Diggs is so out of the box where it's like, okay, I want to see how this turns out.
Right.
Whereas some of the other characters, like, yeah, of course, Jonathan Majors is King. That makes total sense. Yeah, whatever. You know,
Nailed it. Imagine.
right?
I know I
And
saw him
he-
one thing at that point. And I was like, sure. Sure. I was
Right.
like, yeah. Yeah, I can see it. I was
For
right.
sure.
I was like, he's good though. But
Yeah, be interesting
whatever.
to see Loki and how all that kind of develops.
Yeah.
yeah, that whole situation's sad. we'll see.
Yeah.
Sucks.
I wasn't even talking about that. I was talking literally about the storyline.
Yeah, it went from like a yeah to like a
Well,
yeah.
it's hard not to go back to that. You're like, oh,
I get it, but yeah, I
That's
was definitely
true.
just talking about the show itself.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying the man was riding a super high, and then they're like,
He was. I mean, we'll see what happens. It seems like, he has some evidence supporting his side, so.
on that front. How about
Yeah.
every all 20 other? It's
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah.
That's the part where that's hard. I don't know.
That's-
I don't know. I don't know what to believe. So we'll see.
Right.
For
You
sure.
just kind of gotta wait and see.
It's
Yeah.
all it could be.
Wait and see. That's the mantra of this show at this point. We
Right?
gotta wait and see if Superman's gonna be any good. We gotta wait and see what the multiverse saga is. We have to wait and see if this writer's strike is gonna happen and what that
Writers,
Yeah, the actor strike. Yeah.
Right. Double strike.
that's God.
No
Oppenheimer
promotion.
premiere started an hour earlier, so the cast could attend.
Wow.
In case you were wondering where we're standing.
Wow.
Wow.
So do they have to walk out? What's the like halfway through?
In solidarity.
Thank you for your time. Just walk out.
Oh, that
The
would
whole-
be wild.
90% of the audience walks out. Like, oh, boy.
Cillian Murphy, Robert Downey, Florence Pugh, they just get up, walk out as soon as explosions start happening.
Oh,
They're
that
like,
would
"Oh,
be
we're outta here."
wild.
Wow.
That would be a meme picture right there. Somebody
Yeah.
could capture that.
It was.
It says, they said the hope is just so that way the cast can pose for photos and participate in interviews.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not
No?
looking good, folks. I don't think it's looking good.
I
See,
think
the
that's
only,
it.
the only reason I have like some kind of a, I guess like, I won't say I'm like positively awaiting like, yeah, the actors better strike. But the only reason why I'm like, I think they should strike is I think it would help out the writers a lot.
Yeah.
And hopefully they'll just
Right.
start like making deals as soon as possible. So
They
they
should
can
be
be over this,
they should
people can
strike
get
them.
paid what they're owed, and that can be done.
100%. They should strike in
That's it.
solidarity. Fuck them
Yeah.
both over.
Yeah.
Because once they say that we're going to wait for them to start losing their apartments and their houses,
That
like,
was-
oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Like, come on now.
I think
You're
I
just
think
a
that
villain.
was sort of. I think that just. I
That
don't
was
think
a
that
lot.
helped them with the SAG-AFTRA strike.
help
I
at
think,
Oh, that
Mm-mm.
hell no.
No,
no.
because like actors are kind of in the same position where they're like working paycheck to paycheck, like
Mhm.
project to project. Unless you're like an A-lister or even like a B-lister, like you have to hop from project to project to.
But not only
keep the
that,
lights
just
on.
also how many people who are in both unions. Like you say that
Right.
for a writer, and it's like that's cool and all, but I don't think you realize that this actor that you're talking to, trying to act like you're acting in good faith, is also a writer. So you saw,
Right.
oh, you're trying to kill one of my income sources. Like,
Right.
Mhm.
I need both to keep this happy.
right?
Yeah.
Yep. It's like Jamie said though,
Very
I think
professional.
it's very much a good thing that they
Mhm.
both go on strike because clearly they don't give a crap about the writers whatsoever. But we know that they like are doing everything they can to stop the actors from going on strike.
Right.
Right.
So it's
Especially like the actors are front facing. Like they can talk to their fans like, hey, we need to support this initiative, like this, and that. Whereas the writers, like most people don't know what these writers look like or
That's
really
sad,
think about
yeah.
their effect on these projects. So I think the actors will definitely have an impact.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Oh boy. Meanwhile, Bob Iger gets a massive payday today. But
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
another
Bobby said, I'm going to get my coin. I don't know about y'all.
2020.
And like I hope y'all get yours too. I'm gonna get mine.
I
I
love
went
y'all
on
so
strike.
much.
They brought me back. He's like,
Yep.
Listen, Disney Plus will be here when y'all come back. Because I'm going to save it.
We need 25 more episodes of Daredevil. We'll be waiting.
What can this AI do? Ooh.
Oh God!
Create
No.
the
After
Secret
Secret
Invasion
Invasion,
opening.
they better not touch AI.
Oh,
Yeah.
Don't even think about it. But yeah, that's the show today, guys. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like and subscribe. Let us know what your thoughts are on Marvel, DC, the SAG strike, the writer's strike. There's so much going on, and things like this is a new show, but things are getting so weird. We're gonna just start talking about whatever we feel like at this point because we might run out of news in a month. We don't know what's gonna happen. But if you enjoyed this video, again, give us a like and subscribe, and give all these wonderful people a follow. Their handles are in the description. Until next time, guys, take care.
So yeah.